Welcome back, everybody, to the Helvetic Speedrunner Marathon Online #1. Yeah, coming up next is A Ghost of Tsushima. Any percent New Game Plus Lethal. What a category name. By Aeshmah. Take it away. Good luck and have fun.
Hello, everyone on the internet in this lovely morning hour. I mean, it's pretty fitting because it's a game about ghosts, right? So for the next about 3.5 hours, I will be your runner, and I'm not alone. I have a lovely commentator with me as well. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm the Wicked Viking. I also stream this game and speedrun it. Not nearly to the level that Ash does, but I try my best. Try to find new routes with a couple other runners and be the first one to kind of implement them. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And speaking of new routes and stuff, since so much new techniques and things have been found since I did my last, I want to say, proper run of this game, we are setting ourselves up here that this could actually be a world record run if I don't mess up too many things. So, get a bit hyped there in the chat at this morning hour. I mean, it's like about 4 a.m. in the morning here, so... I could need some energy here. But anyway, we have about 3.5 hours to talk during the run about the run. So why don't we go ahead and get this show on the road in 3, 2, 1, go. So, for those of you guys who don't know, we are running the any percent New Game Plus category, and there are basically 3 main advantages that we have in New Game Plus over a New Game save file. The first of all being we completely skip the prologue of the game, which is already a 40 to 42 minute time save, which is pretty nice because, as you can imagine, the prologue is pretty much just story stuff happening and tutorials and whatnot, and being able to skip that is, really nice in a speedrun setting. The second advantage is that we are actually able to skip all the cutscenes. So if you are playing on a fresh save file, you can't skip any of the cutscenes in the game. You have to watch them every time you play. And that is another about 2-hour time save over the course of the whole game. So by these two factors combined, we are already saving about 2.5 hours, give or take. And then, of course, the third main advantage is because we are playing New Game Plus, of course, we take over all of our armors, all of our upgrades, our techniques and whatnot from our previous save file, which, once again, makes us able to go fast. And we do want to go fast, don't we? Because if you are doing a speedrun on a fresh save file, this run takes roughly about 7 hours, so being able to do it in 3.5 is pretty nice.
Yeah, you're talking about all the advantages of New Game Plus. You don't talk about the disadvantage. So one of the sad things is you don't really know the story. What's going on? Why are we here? Why are we fighting things? So while he's doing the whole Yuna thing and kind of riding up to this next action point, we'll just talk about the story. So this is the Mongol invasion of Tsushima, an actual event that took place in, I believe it was the 1000s. I believe it was, or the 1100s. It's an actual event that took place. Was there a Jin Sakai? We don't know, but unlikely. But this is the actual invasion of Tsushima. And during the invasion, 80 samurai met the Mongols on a beach. That's fact. That's awesome. And they incorporated that into this game. You are one of very, very few surviving samurai. The other surviving samurai is your uncle, who happens to be the lord of the land, Lord Shimura. During the entire first portion of the game, the prologue, your goal, your mission is to rescue Lord Shimura from Castle Canada. I call it Canada. I know that's not correct,
Canada.
but it's Canada.
No, it's Canada. It's not Castle Canada. We are not in America. We are Japan.
Listen, it's north of where you start at. It's Canada. That's all I know. I'm American. That's what we do. So you build up this whole relationship with Yuna, who he's riding along with here, and you find out she's a thief, and her idea is to kind of sneak in. And you say, "No, I'm a samurai. We're gonna meet them with honor, face to face." And that doesn't go too well for you. You fight the Khan, and you get chucked off of a bridge. Your survival is... I don't know, how do you think he survived that? other than plot armor?
Sheer force of will. I mean, he gets basically thrown off a bridge that is a good, I don't know, 20 to 30 meters up in the air above water. So once he lands on that water surface, it hits pretty hard, you know.
Maybe it was high tide. He got lucky. Maybe.
Pretty high tide, my dude.
Indeed. So you find out that being super honorable and trying to fight the Khan face to face and his whole army is not going to be good. So the idea of this game, the whole the whole storyline is Yuna is basically telling you to survive, you have to adapt. And she is teaching you and telling you ways of how to be a sneaky little ninja assassin.
Like we just did.
Yes. Yeah. Not honorable, not samurai, but it's war. So you do what you got to survive, right?
A quick point about what we are doing here. We are now in a flashback because we assassinated the first guy, and Jin has a little flashback about his uncle telling him about honor. And we are supposed to track a bear here. And normally the game supposedly takes you this path along an S shape, kind of. But since we are speedrunners, we can just cut straight across, which is, of course, you know, faster than going along this whole S shape. And Lord Shimura clearly demonstrating the awesome AI pathing in some points of the game, which you have to take really good care about, because NPCs just walking around willy-nilly can cost you quite a bit of time here and there.
Yeah, I find that I've got to go super wide left or kind of stagger my routing to where Shimura's on my left in order to try to keep him from going to that other side of the bear. But as you saw, he got attacked. There was an assassin trying to take him out, and that's where you get that his honorable code. Always look him in the eye. Never strike from the shadows. And here we get introduced to probably one of the most ancient yet unknown samurai arts, the roly-poly samurai.
Oh, the tumbleweed samurai, depending on who you ask.
I did that one for you. I did that for you.
And I did the other for you, dude.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, tumbleweed samurai or roly-poly samurai, however you would like to call it, that is the art of ninja rolling. If you are in a crouch position, in stealth position, and you start a roll, the enemy won't see you. So you have to be just a tumbleweed in the wind. So you're going to see that quite a bit during stealthy sections where you can't just go in the front. You're going to just go right in the front. It's quite fantastic.
Yeah, it basically lets us skip all the stealth sections in the game whatsoever. Just one little addition there. Not only do you have to be crouching and rolling, you also have to start your first roll while you still haven't been detected by any enemy. As soon as you have been detected and these little white bars start filling up, telling you that the enemy is going to detect you, it doesn't work anymore. You have to be completely undetected, because as far as we understand it, is that the roll actually preserves your detection meter in a way. So as long as you are, well, undetected and just keep on rolling, no enemy in this game will ever see you, which is pretty fantastic.
The finest thing for speedrunning. You can implement it in your casual as well, but speedrunning makes it good. So the mission that we just completed was Yuna had saved our lives on the beach. She nursed us back to health, and she didn't do it for nothing. She wants us to help save her brother Taka. So Jin he's offering to save her brother Taka because we need the assistance. They thought that he was in this camp, so they raided the camp and found a straw hat Ronin who said that he was most likely moved to Osama Bay. So that's going to be later down the road. We're going to go rescue him. But for now, we're going to recruit the 3 members that we need to be able to be full force to fight our way into the castle, starting with Sensei Ishikawa.
Besides us?
Yeah, because basically the whole of Act 1 is you trying to rescue your uncle from the Mongols. And as we learned in the prologue and as Wicked already explained, you know, we just can't take on a whole castle full of Mongols by ourselves. We need some allies. And that is basically everything that we have to do in Act 1 is recruit other people to help us. And as you can see, I messed up the rolling here. I started it when the enemies had already seen me, as indicated by the white well, bars that try to fill up. Normally you can just roll up to this group of enemies and start assassinating like half of them.
See, I don't look at it as a mistake. You are demonstrating the wrong way to do it.
Right.
Yeah, so that way you can show the good and the bad. One thing, if you notice, that battle was super fast, and he didn't even kill everybody. A lot of the people ran away. The reason for that is because we have a build that we came up with that Ash kind of started the idea, and then between him and I, we kind of went back and forth with different charms. And we have created a equipment loadout with the charms, as well as the ghost armor that has such high terror, you can pretty much assume you're going to terrorize at least half of the bad guys. So when you kill somebody, somebody else is going to run away, which clearly that makes the encounters significantly faster.
So basically what it is there is a kind of status effect in the game called Terrify. And what Terrify does is it makes an enemy drop their weapons and basically flee the battlefield, and that enemy counts as defeated, so you don't have to take care of him anymore. And the Ghost Armor has a perk that makes it so that whenever you kill an enemy, another enemy has a 40% chance of getting terrified. And then, as Wiki just said, we just load out this armor with more charms that increases this base percentage up until about 90%. So whenever I kill an enemy, I have about a 90% chance that another enemy just straight up leaves the fight.
Just noped out.
Which makes the battles go, you know, at least double as quick.
On top of that, there's also, you're going to see once we get to that point and start getting some equipment, black powder bombs and death by fire also causes an increase in the terror, and those will clear out huge groups super fast. You'll notice that I'll let Ash call it the way that he wants to later when he starts getting the bombs, but he's got a special name for the type of combat that we do.
Your student is inside.
I do like it. But yeah, we basically have other charms equipped that makes it so once we set an enemy on fire, he has a chance to terrify even more enemies. So this will be a pretty, you know, fire-tastic run in a way, if you want to put it that way.
Survey the battlefield. What can we use to our advantage?
So we are approaching Fort Nakayama. This again, Sensei Ishikawa, a great samurai archer that we want to incorporate into our ranks to help us save our uncle. And he is following, I guess you could say, one of his students, Tomoe. And Tomoe has been, quote-unquote, captured by the Mongols. You think that she may have been taken here to Fort Nakayama. So Sensei Ishikawa says, scout the battlefield, figure out what you can use to your advantage, and then we attack. Which I always find quite amusing, that you get so much grief in this game for using shadow tactics and assassination moves and things like that. But in this scene here, you literally blow up unsuspecting enemies with explosive barrels and catch them on fire and shoot bees. So
jeez.
It's a bit weird.
Didn't get a single explosive arrow, so I think I actually have to go do the shopping after this.
Oh, goodness. So if you're lucky, you can get explosive arrows as well as flaming arrows during this pickup. Your chances of grabbing those on a lethal are quite a bit less, but if you can get those arrows, you eliminate a shopping trip, which comes up right after this, so it's much quicker. There is, of course, an ammo rack inside the fort that is on my route to get through. I don't know if Ash uses that route or not, but there is an ammo rack in there for at least one more try. But look at all these people running away with that fire. It's fantastic. Fantastic. So once you clear out the outside, then you got to go inside and clear them out. The commander and his goons come running out, so you just shoot a couple explosive barrels. All the fire causes a lot of terror. Killing the boss causes terror.
Who am I missing?
It's,
oh, God, you.
Yeah, that guy. So once you clear the area out, this part we use a quit out and reload checkpoint. And in doing so, it takes Sensei Ishikawa from being way back up at the visual area to now he's inside the fort. Saves quite a bit of time because he runs. We've tried to incorporate that in a couple areas. It doesn't work.
But you could already see just by that fight alone how much difference a, well, good RNG roll can make, right? Because, you know, if this terror effect that we explained earlier kicks in, I wouldn't have had to go out of my way to kill this one last archer that was just hiding out somewhere else, which of course cost me a little bit of time already because he just didn't flee. I actually had to look for him. And of course, the more enemies just flee and leave the battlefield, the less cleanup I have to do at the end of the fight, and the faster I can go. So you can already say that there's a lot of RNG involved in this run.
Absolutely. There are about 4 or 5 fights. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's not super many. But there are about 4 or 5 fights that if you get one enemy that is not playing nicely with you, it can kill your time quite a bit.
So the Mongols took
Yeah.
The shots are tightly
Yeah.
clustered.
But this was Fort Nakayama. You come up and you see some tightly clustered Japanese arrows. We found Tomoe's kimono, and we found some archery terms written from Mongolian to Chinese. So basically, you're drawing a conclusion that Tomoe may not be so good anymore.
We're looking for a woman.
Also, because you mentioned it earlier, maybe we should talk about the different difficulty settings of the game. So the game has 4 difficulty settings: easy, normal, hard, and lethal. And we are playing on lethal. And what that does is basically when you pick up items, you basically get less. Like Wicked earlier said, when I picked up all these arrows, there is a very high chance if you're playing on a lower difficulty setting that you get, well, the quote-unquote better arrows. You know, you get fire arrows instead of normal arrows, and you get explosive arrows instead of heavy arrows. And the higher the difficulty you're playing on, the less of those special arrows you get. And of course, the enemies are going to be, well, more aware on the higher difficulty settings, because on easy you can basically brush by some enemies without them noticing. On lethal, they are very aware of your presence. And of course, the combat is way harder on lethal. Like on lethal, every hit you take is basically a one hit. I mean, you can survive an odd hit here and there, but most of the time you get hit, you die.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more intense. I've done a few lethal runs that have not made it past Act 1, just because I don't play on this difficulty. But that's all Ash plays, so he slaughters on it. He's really good. So now we've recruited Sensei Ishikawa. The idea behind this game, as we mentioned, is you recruit people to help you rescue your uncle. And just like a lot of these other open world games, you can do a lot of different missions. You can go elsewhere and come back and do, you know, more Sensei missions. Sensei Ishikawa's side missions are trying to figure out what happened to Tomoe and recruiting her. When you get Yuna, there's missions to help her. There's missions to help every NPC in here. You don't have to do any of those missions for the sake of the story, but they are very useful in casual playthrough because of the rewards you get, the renown, and stuff like that. That's another thing that has a huge advantage. Not only do you have your gear, but you also have your techniques. That was something else that we didn't talk about. All your techniques carry over from the original playthrough. If you were playing a new game of this, you have to kill leaders, observe leaders. You have to do all this different stuff, so you get more renown, so you become stronger, better, faster. Like, you know, the $6 Million Man. Fortunately, we're already there.
Techniques are basically your skills. Like you attack faster in certain stances. You get dodges that let you instantly attack the enemy. That's, you know, you dodge his attack. You are able to parry arrows by just blocking and stuff like that. And we have all of those right from the get-go because we are playing a New Game Plus. Also,
so now we are
just because I did this shopping now, I had to do this shopping trip that I just did because I didn't pick up a single explosive arrows at the start of our attack on Fort Nakayama. If I had at least gotten one, I could have saved that whole shopping trip, but since I had to do it anyway, I took the chance to also pick up some black powder bombs and more explosive arrows. And this is where the run is starting to come together here, because as we explained earlier, setting people ablaze basically gives us a chance to terrify a lot of them, and since I have a lot of explosives now, I can now finally go ahead and channel my inner Michael Bay and raise literal hell on the island of Tsushima.
And that's another thing with our techniques upgraded, the black powder bombs and also a sticky bomb, which doesn't get used too much, but it can be used. They catch the surrounding enemies on fire. So not only do you have one enemy on fire that might scare another enemy, you also have his buddy on fire that might scare another enemy. So big explosives. You're going to see a fight later on that believe it or not, two properly placed black powder bombs is all it takes to kill 20 men.
Yep.
It is an insane fight.
It's fun to look at. Lots of fire. So basically, guys, get out your marshmallows because we'll be roasting some people here.
Pass the children through the window.
So we're now at Clan Adachi. Lord Adachi was killed on the beach. He gets the most dramatic death of everybody. He does the honorable, I am samurai, I challenge your finest warrior, and the Khan literally walks up to him with a pitcher of, a goblet, thank you. A goblet of Erig, splashes it on him, and then lights him on fire with a torch. Quite fantastic of a death, I would say. So the only ones left are the women of Clan Adachi because the men have all gone off and fought and died. You get to the estate and you find that there's been some things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So during your investigation, you come across the dead horse. Lady Adachi says, hi, and she talks to you and tells you exactly what happened. The night that the Mongols invaded, somebody came to her village, her little area, her estate, and killed everybody, and she's the only one left. We're going to go to their gravesite, pay our respects. So once we get there, everybody please F's in chat for Clan Adachi. R2s, yeah. I'm about probably a 10-second delay on you, so I'm trying to talk about ahead of time stuff. So
gotcha.
you might get that beforehand, so I apologize. But yes, F's in chat. Michael Ash Bay. Potentially, yes. Yes.
Maybe.
I mean, we do turn the entire bay to ash, so I don't see why that couldn't be a problem. So, after paying our respects, we ride to the Golden Temple. The idea at the Golden Temple is we have to talk to this monk, Sogen. And then Sogen has a very interesting mission where we have to follow him.
Quote unquote follow.
Quote unquote. We follow him very well.
I mean, we are very sneaky.
Very, very sneaky. So as we're riding up there, basically, Lady Masako is saying that the killers bring shame to me. I must find them and kill them. And you're like, yeah, sure, great, no problem. But I need your help. And let's do that. So that's Lady Masako's story. When you get done with the first mission, you start doing all the side missions for Lady Masako. The idea for her story is who killed her family and why. And it's a very interesting story. All of the stories are very interesting and very intense, but this is
they're already good
definitely one of the more intense. Yes, absolutely.
I need to find the armorer.
So that was Soken that we just talked to, and in just a moment we will find out that he is one of the conspirators who actually sicked the assassins on Clan Adachi. First, you have to tell Lady Masako that we actually talked to him.
So one of the things that happens and takes place here is you actually get armor from her clan. You get armor that should have gone to her son, but her son died. You could see Ash wear it for just a little bit, but unfortunately it's not scary enough, so we have to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's basically the first armor that you get, the first proper armor that you get in the game. However, it is solely defense orientated, like it increases your health, it increases your defense stats and stuff like that. And that just doesn't make you go fast. But we are speedrunners, we want to go fast, We need something more offensive orientated, so we're not gonna wear the samurai armor. If it looks kind of cool.
There's Sogen, leaving in a hurry.
And yeah, this is the infamous part where we are now supposed to trail Sogen to his den, where the other assassins are. But since he always takes the same route to his destination, and we are speedrunners, so we know where he goes, We are not exactly doing that.
Be seen.
But as you could already see, whenever I'm out of range of him or whenever I cannot see him anymore, there's this timer counting down. And if I don't get back to a spot where I can see him or where I am near him, I will actually get a game over and have to reload the last checkpoint. And of course I don't want to do that because it loses you a bunch of time. So we have to stay in around a certain vicinity of him. So let's just wait for him to go to this crossroads where he will quickly turn around and see if he is being followed, as he exclaims himself. And once he moves, so things will get a little bit more interesting. Because we are actually in front of him. Like, he will come down this path here, where we already are running down. We will just go around this bend. Gotta wait for him to catch up just a little bit here. And Ryo wants for him to go to this rock there, basically. Just about there, that is good enough. And then we will just hightail it to the next quest marker. And as long as I make it there within the time limit, the quest will actually progress as normal. Oh, this is cutting it a little bit tight here.
And as you saw, he was setting up his... That was good. He was setting up his tools for the upcoming part, because when you got dead time, that's what you do. You set your tools up for the next part. This is actually probably my favorite part, because you're supposed to hear Sogen talking to these ruffians, but since Sogen's so far away, you just hear one side of the conversation. It's quite entertaining.
Sogen still has his line, so it's basically talking with them telepathically.
And he yells at them to keep the voice down.
Press the button instead of holding it down. Oh well.
Whoops. So this is in our New Game Plus playthrough. This is the first time that you do a standoff. A standoff, you're supposed to hold the triangle down until just the right moment, and you will basically get the first strike on the enemy. And it's pretty quick, pretty fast, but that was a nice cleanup. Good recovery. You didn't take a second shot, so I mean, that's definitely good.
Yeah, I mean, I pressed the button, but I wasn't sure if the standoff had started yet, but it did, but I let go, so... a little bit of a fumbling there.
And a symbol.
But we got through it.
But you just missed there. Sogen is no longer amongst the living. He was standing there in front of a very angry, widowed, and her entire family massacred, and was talking about how change needs to happen, and those that stand in the way of change must be removed. And she was all very mad because, you know, they were children, and she slaughters him, just destroys him. That cutscene is pretty brutal. And Ash came up with a nice nickname for her.
Yeah, I mean, normally she is called Lady Massacre, but since this is an occurrence that just keeps on happening during her quest line, I started to call her Lady Massacre. Because, you know, that's what she does. She just massacres people in cold blood, mercilessly.
Yeah, she is brutal. But that's what's really good about the storytelling in this game is you can see the emotion, and you can tell the just pure emotional rage when she's confronted by her killers, and they didn't gloss over it. And another thing that you don't get to see, unfortunately, in the speedrun, because we skip all the cutscenes, they did really, really good on the facial animations in this game. And every emotion is so well played out. It's quite fantastic. So this is one of our longer rides. We have to go all the way down to meet with Yuna outside of Osama Bay, where she is conspiring with Kenji to get inside so that way she can rescue her brother Taka. There's also a mission down here to recruit the Straw Hat Ronin that we could do right now if we wanted to, but with routing, we learned that the ending of this quest puts you pretty close to where you need to be for the or you just teleport to a quick load kind of area, and then you're right next to where you need to be for the next mission.
Right.
Whereas the mission for this one puts you so far away that you'd have to ride further. So this just makes more sense to do these in this order.
Exactly.
We're
so
not-
in the first act and the second act as well, you are basically pretty free to tackle the main quest in more or less any way you'd like. However, as we could just explain, the endpoints of certain main quests just puts you very conveniently near the start of the next one. So if you just go ahead and do them in a certain order, you definitely lose time instead of having to run around the map all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. The missions with Ryozo put you right next to Komatsu Forge, whereas if you did them the other way around, you'd have to ride halfway across the grasslands again.
Exactly.
It's quite nice. It took a little bit of routing to get this done, and we both actually have different rides that we take to get to here, but we both make sure that we hit a fast travel trigger because after we finish this mission, we fast travel to this, it's a sword strike area, and then we just quick ride over to the next mission. It's super helpful. So coming up is Osama Bay. It is the only auto-scroller in Act 1 and one of the very few auto-scrollers in the whole game for New Game Plus. And this is a section where if you have to get up, stretch your legs for a minute or so, you can. It's kind of drab, but it puts a lot of stuff into motion, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, basically it's the only real break that you're gonna get during the whole New Game Plus run, like half an hour into the run itself. So, yeah, gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, I think when I did an Act 1 run of this for a marathon that was last minute, and it was right after I did another run, and I used that opportunity to run up and refill my drink. It was great. It's great.
Yeah, it's nice to have a break during longer speedruns for sure. I mean, normally if you were to play the new game category of this game, like we explained earlier, you get about 2 hours of breaks during the whole thing because you cannot skip the cutscenes. They are of varying length, of course, so not every cutscene is, you know, okay for you to get up and use the bathroom or get some of the ring and whatnot. But at least at the end of every act, you get like a longer, I don't know, 3 to 5 minute break, which is actually nice because it just allows you to get up and stretch a little bit and stuff like that. Oh, it's interesting thing here. This is where we will now try and infiltrate Osama Bay. And what happens here is we have to get to another cutscene trigger while we are in range of our allies here. However, what we have found is if we just skirt around basically the range of where we are allowed to be compared to our allies, we can make it so that Kenji is very insistent about a few people. So if I do this right here, I'll just skirt along the edge here until the countdown starts. Few people fought back. Yeah, Kenji, they definitely did. Okay, a few people fought back. I get it. Oh, really? Did they now?
He just wants you to know a few people fought back.
Yeah. He's very insistent about this. Oh yeah, okay. I see. Is there anything else? No. It's just a few people who fought back over and over. I get it. Well, you know, he's very insistent about these few people.
Mongols.
Auto scrollers, you got to find a way to entertain yourself, right?
Just a little bit. But yeah, here's basically the real auto scroller where we now get into the cart and get, you know, carted into Osama Bay among the sake barrels. So this is about a 1 minute break. That's all you get during this whole run. So, stretch.
So this is Kenji. Kenji is, he's, I want to say the lovable fool that can do no right. He has good intentions, but his methods are not good. He tries to help people by skimming off of other people, and some of his side missions later on are you've got to go fight some people that he's ripped off because he was trying to save some food for some starving people. So it's like he means well, but the people that he's doing bad to are very bad people. So that's his theme, and he actually is. He shows up in the main fights for Act 2 and Act 3. So or no, he's not in Act 3. I'm sorry, for Act 2. So he actually does go to battle with you. So I mean, he does come brave eventually.
I mean, he's basically the comic relief character of the bunch here, because everybody else is pretty serious in a way, because, you know, we are in a pretty serious situation because our whole island has been taken over by these Mongol troops. So it's more or less a pretty sad story, actually. So you basically need a little bit of, you know, leverage. And then again. So let's see if this Mongol slaver actually behaves and doesn't bug out on me. I hope so.
This is another point of potential minute time loss if he doesn't play nicely. The Mongol slaver is inspecting the slaves, and if you time the trigger on him wrong, he can start a second round.
Okay, I just gotta wait for him to go to the next dude now because I was too late, because I jumped instead of doing the thing.
He's in charge. A slaver.
Okay, let's hope he behaves and keeps on walking. Please.
Follow him.
He does. Does he? He does. Okay. So yeah, what can happen here? If you trigger that at the wrong point, he will just keep walking among these 3 slaves, basically indefinitely, and you have to go ahead and reload the checkpoint and do it again, which of course is quite a bit of a time loss. So I don't know. Gotta time it right. I didn't, so I had to wait for a little bit.
So this part is kind of fun. You just basically run around on the roofs and watch as he walks through because, you know, NPC vision is directly in front of them and 45 left, 45 right, and that's it. If you're not in that spot, you are invisible. So you're going to run over the top of him. You're going to make all sorts of noise. He's not going to care. As long as he doesn't see you, he doesn't care.
Yeah,
I tried routing.
Just never learn looking up, right?
No, they don't. No, they don't. I tried routing in, picking up some gear at this spot, but we do another reset checkpoint at the end of this walk. And with the reset checkpoint, for some reason, you don't keep the gear that you pick up during this part.
Really?
So I routed that back out. Yeah, because I was trying to do that instead of shopping. I was trying to pick up all the black powder bombs here instead. And when I did reload checkpoint multiple times, I lost them. And I think it's because even though you reload checkpoint at a further area in the game, it's still reloading the stats from when the auto scroller started.
I see. Yeah, could make sense. The thing is that we probably have to clarify is why I am running on lethal. Wicked is mostly running on easy. And as we explained earlier, the enemies don't detect you as fast on easy difficulty. So it is easier to, you know, run around here just a little bit and pick up some more stuff. Whereas on lethal, the enemies will probably detect you in the meantime. And then you will get detected and have to restart the checkpoint because you are supposed to be sneaky during this part.
Calling me out, aren't you?
I am.
So once the slaver makes it all the way through to this NPC here, basically somebody is, I mean, he's trying to save his own backside, and he says, hey, your blacksmith is trying to sabotage you. I'm a blacksmith. I can do better work. And for some reason, even though Taka has been doing all the work, the slaver's like, all right, I'll go kill him, but you better be able to do the work that you say you can.
And this is one of the parts where you would have to, you know, sneak around all of these Mongols, but since we are a pretty good, you know, roly-poly samurai ghost, we can just do this.
At that tumbleweed go. Another thing that they did is you looking on the screen, he gets dirty when he rolls around, which is really fun. I think that's great. So you've got to kind of roll back and forth at the end area there because you want to be on those stairs when you do the reset checkpoint, or else it will reset you at the other side of the market, and you wasted all that time and all that effort.
Yeah, exactly. So basically the trigger for that is when Jin talks about that the market is full of Mongols, then you know you can just go ahead and reload the checkpoint because it will spawn you on the other side of it.
And as you saw, just walking behind the slaver. Like, again, we're not 45 left or right, so he can't see us.
He's a little bit oblivious, you know, he's preoccupied on his mind. Gonna go ahead and kill Taka. But yeah, we finally free Taka, Yuno's brother.
Where are we going? Kenji's waiting for us at the crossroads.
Now we
Kenji's with
escape Osama
he made
Bay.
it out alive.
This is a very long running session, and we learned, I don't know who was the first person to realize it, that if you do a stagger step or a roll, your stamina fully regens. So you're not, you're not Mario. You can't run forever. You do have stamina gauge. So as you start seeing Jin start to pant and start to slow down a little bit, if you do a little stagger step, as you saw, or a roll, his stamina completely refills and you get to take off again. So that was a huge thing to be notified of, because if not, you have to wait like usually 5 to 10 seconds for your stamina to refill.
The thing is, though, you can't actually see your stamina bar. You can really only see it when Jin starts dropping his head and breathing heavily. So you'll just look out for that and then do a dodge step or a roll, like Wicked said, and you are basically good to go again.
Horses, they're coming for us. Get in the tall grass.
So yeah, we escaped Osama Bay. Here comes Kenji with our horses. And now we are out of here.
It's Kenji! Taka! You made it!
Will you follow?
So aside from
Can't go back to my place.
the
It's
ancient
falling
samurai
from
art
walls.
of
We should
Tumbleweed
go.
I
Samurai,
have to put some distance.
there's
between us
also
and
another
Osama Bay.
samurai technique that not everyone is aware of, and that's
monkey jump.
Pogo Samurai.
A pogo
Yeah,
samurai.
monkey jump,
Ah.
pogo. I like Pogo Samurai.
It's not bad, not bad.
On a lot of
Haven't seen a
these
Mongol
sessions
since
where you're riding a
think
horse
clear.
with a
We need to figure out
companion,
where to go next.
for some reason they want to trot
There's a place up ahead
instead
where
of
you can see most of
ride.
the Sahara.
So it's
You're on the
actually
right.
faster to get off
Could
the
use a
horse
drink
and jump,
Some sleep.
and that
I can
jumping
help
is
with one of
faster than the
those.
horse's trot. And so even though for this section you have to get through all of the dialogue before it'll actually finish the cut, you actually trigger the dialogue faster because you're getting them to the trigger points faster rather than just doing the standard slow gallop. Because even though they're supposed to be galloping, they will keep
I'm not
up
built
with
for
you
riding all night.
while you are jumping. So it's a little
Just
time
that
save.
much.
Well, it's actually a significant time save.
Yeah, basically what happens in these walkie-talkie sections is that your movement speed is basically slowed down to a minimum, except your jumping speed. And that is why we just jump during all of these encounters to go as fast as we possibly can still.
So we've got Taka. The reason we need Taka is because he's the greatest blacksmith on the island. He's going to make us some tool to help us rescue our uncle. Hooray! Yay! Now we need to go recruit the Straw Hat Ronin, which are the Ronin. They're mercenaries for hire. And so we want them to help us save our uncle. And we get to meet an old friend, Ryozo. He's a good guy.
Totally. I mean, he's our best friend since childhood. And now we have a lot of history with him. Best man, best dude. We love him.
I would invite him to my wedding.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, just give him your
So-
shield, you know, to hang on the boat.
There you go. We don't talk about that with Lady. She doesn't know that everyone's getting a shield. So, shh.
Secrecy.
She knows that everyone's getting. Yeah, she knows that everyone's getting a weapon, but she doesn't know that everyone's getting a shield because those are a secret.
Oh.
But anyway, sorry. Back to the game. So Ryozo, the whole story behind Ryozo is he's envious. I mean, there's no other real way to put it. He's your childhood friend, but he's that friend that, you know, he would watch you and then be like, I wish that was me. He wanted to be a samurai and enter the service of a lord. And there was a huge tournament that you were involved in and he was involved in. And you find out later on that you kind of wiped the floor with him. And he's always held a little bit of resentment against that. But because he lost in that tournament, he no longer was recruited into a samurai, so he became a Ronin. And he is now the leader of the glorious Straw Hat Ronin. So, I mean, things are working out for him, right?
So let's see if I can do the standoff right this time. Already looking better. This is how the one in the Tale of Lady Masako should have looked like.
So this battle is a good example of where one well-placed black powder bomb will end a small fight. After we, unless he doesn't do it right.
Yep, didn't do it.
So after we do the standoff, you run up and you kill the archer. After you kill the archer, this group of individuals start to attack you. If you throw a black powder bomb at the,
what are you doing? It's one guy. I killed about 20 of them.
Ryozo NTC is just terrible. Terrible.
He can't kill.
He's supposed to finish this guy off for you, but he just didn't want to.
Wait, see, this is exactly why we are better than Ryozo. This is why we beat him in that duel in our childhood. Well, not childhood, but adolescence. You know.
But you're the bad person because he is just terrible.
Dude, like really.
2 summers ago. Lord Nagao's
So again, another unfortunate bad RNG fight. There's nothing you can do about those.
Yeah.
They needed a new sword.
The thing is also,
Why didn't you tell me
difficulty
you were at
also
Komodo?
affects your NPC allies. Like we already said, you know, on lethal, basically every hit you take is deadly. It isn't so much on easy, and that is exactly why the NPC is actually way more helpful on lethal difficulty than they are on easy or any of the lower difficulties. Because on lethal, they actually deal a lot of damage to the enemies and are able to kill enemies on their own. Except for Ryozo here, who wasn't able to kill that one guy for whatever reason.
Samurai.
But yeah, on lethal difficulty, the NPCs are actually helping you out, especially Yuna and Sensei Ishikawa, because they are archers, and they can basically kill other enemies with a single arrow on lethal difficulty, which is pretty great. If only they would shoot more arrows.
Anything in his power.
What's he got the power?
But Ryozo, with his sword, his mighty Ronin skills,
Yeah.
can't take that guy out.
I think this is the first time that I've seen him not being able to kill that one dude.
Your name will appear in the
It is
Shogun's
It
ridiculous.
is very uncommon.
You really believe
I guess
that?
this is
I
a
believe it's worth
prime,
fighting
this
for.
has never happened before moment.
It can't have been easy
No, I've
keeping the
not
Straw
seen
Hats
it.
together after
I
Komodo
probably
Beach.
have, but I've not seen it.
How
We'll
did
go
you
with
do
that.
it?
So
Against them, nobody can save us but
after
ourselves.
you
That's true.
you
I used to
basically
think
save
so.
Ryozo from the ambush,
It's starting to lie.
you're
How many
asking him
men
now,
do you
will you
have?
help me free my uncle? And he says, I'll think about it, but what's in it for me?
That
You
peasant
tell
said
him that he
the
can make him a
Mongol stole his
samurai.
rights and went to Fort
And
Okia.
he's not really
You think
buying into it because,
Easy,
you know,
Shinzo.
it's a
It's me.
samurai
have
on
an idea?
an island conquered by Mongols. What's the real point there? So there's a little bit more convincing to Ryozo. So he's not a one and done like the other NPCs. We actually have to talk to him a couple times and get a few missions for him. Three missions for Ryozo. He's a stubborn old
Should
man.
have talked about your idea before telling my men.
He's really concerned about his man.
That's my job.
Which, I mean, that's fair and all, but
It's
he-
fine.
He's a little bit too
does
stuck.
it.
Ah, Jesus Christ, dude. So rude, not letting me go first.
If you ride with the Straw Hats, you have to look the part. I've got
Not
to
only
stress
is he
that
not able to kill that one guy, he also, you know, goes first with rocks.
are you?
Jesus
Their
Christ,
armor's in the
dude.
chest.
rude.
Yeah. Bleeding time, man. Bleeding time. The hell?
So Ryozo somehow thinks that in order to be a good Ronin, you have to dress like them, and so he gives you a set of Ronin armor, which is just meh. Again, we don't want it. We don't really want it. We'll change out of it as soon as we need to. But it's good armor for casual play. A lot of these armors, they actually do hold a lot of significance during play, but not for us. We don't care about it in the speedrun. That armor,
Yeah.
no bueno.
Like the ghost armor is the only one with the Terrify perk, and as we explained earlier, that does good work, so we want to wear that as much as we possibly can. So all the other armors are more or less useless to us during a speedrun. Or a few exceptions though.
So
Oh, dudes.
now we're off to the lighthouse. And this lighthouse over by, goodness, what's it called? Port Izuma. The lighthouse at Port Izuma, the reason why we're going over here is because the whole reason Ryozo was out in the wild was he's looking for food. He's trying to get food for his men so his men can eat and be happy and you know, fed.
Not
It's
starve.
very important. So after you defeat the Mongols, you find out that they didn't have, you know, they took all his food, and he thinks they took it to this lighthouse. So now your mission is to infiltrate this lighthouse, kill everybody, and get the food, which per, you know, standard RPG fashion doesn't really go too well for
A
you.
lot of men inside, and a signal at the top.
Surely
of the
does not.
If they call reinforcements from the bay, we'll be trapped.
So this mission is really great. The whole concept of this mission is you sneak in, you disable the signal cannons so that way you don't get flanked from the ground, from the shore, and then, you know, you start an ambush and an attack.
Watch the tower for my signal.
But again, you're supposed to sneak in. This game has a lot of parts where you're supposed to be sneaky. And with this one, you want to kind of run around to the right side and you play these little games to try to get in there. It's not necessary. You
Let's
run right
roll.
over the top of this roof and you're good. You're good.
Just
What
keep on
is
rolling.
sneak? Sneak is roll.
you
Look at
know.
that. Right up through. We're good.
As the saying goes, if they don't see you rolling, they don't hate you.
Need to signal the others.
I say that, you know, the other great saying that I'm sure was started with the samurai, keep rolling. Rolling, rolling. And if you didn't hear me, what? You keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
Exactly. All comes back to the samurai, people.
It is.
This
They started it.
centuries ago.
They were ahead of their time with their techniques.
Definitely work.
Who'd have known if you didn't want to be seen? You
Let's
you
roll.
crouch down and you roll.
Who's still left? Nobody is.
So this battle is another good black powder bomb fight. You throw one towards the gate, you come up to the left side. That guy's running away. He didn't want to
Wow,
play.
that was a really good fight. Ryozo was just in
Yeah.
place where he needed to be for the cutscene to trigger. Holy hell.
Let's see what we're up
Huzzah.
against.
That was
Good fight,
basically
Zach.
perfect RNG, I want to say.
It's making up for his
Hmm.
inadequacies earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So you kill everybody here at the lighthouse. They don't have any food here. They're taking the food
Too many barriers
offshore.
about us.
So now you've
Bastards.
gotta scout this
I
area
want my men
and
far away from the enemy's
go
line.
offshore. It's the Sutsu lighthouse. I'm sorry, it's not Port Izuma.
Your
That's
archers on
later.
that cliff.
That's the final area, I
The
think.
Mongols will focus
Yeah,
on them while we're
Izumo.
still aboat. Flaming arrows.
So you're planning your attack for this. Once
To
again,
get
this
their
is supposed to be
attention.
another super
We need them
sneaky,
to look
stealthy
away from
area.
the
You set your archers up on the
All right,
cliff
men.
so that way they can be sneaky
find a way down
and,
to the
and
beach.
shoot these explosive barrels and make a big old distraction so you can run behind everybody.
Watching you
But
fight back there
again,
reminded me of
through the
rolling
art of
guys'
rolling,
opponents. You did
we don't
whatever it
need to
took
worry
to
about
win.
any of that.
It was a
I also
competition.
found in my
We
run,
fought just as hard.
if you have a smoke
What are you
bomb,
getting at?
you can aggro everybody and just smoke bomb right at the canoe, and you're good.
Yeah, so basically, you know, if you don't sneak through here, you would have to kill everybody until you can activate the boat, basically, to go ahead. But if you just go over here, drop a smoke bomb, you can actually activate that trigger and go ahead.
Bombs are amazing.
Yeah,
They
all kinds of
instantly
bombs.
take you out of combat. I don't know if they were intended to be that way,
Your men distracted
but they
the
work
ship's
that
crew
way.
too.
And we're going to use them to our advantage several times later in some rather precarious situations.
I never knew our duel bothered you so much.
Now you do.
Now there they are, talking about that duel, where
You should've
Jin
told
beat
me earlier.
Ryozo and shamed him in front of all the samurai lords.
It was a long time.
He just doesn't let it
No
go,
food
does
here.
he?
Nope,
Any sign of food?
he holds a grudge.
Maybe on the next ship. Hear that? Sounds like fall.
So what
Boy.
you don't see, the little tiny
Surprise them.
significant things that you're not recognizing and realizing. You may keep seeing things popping up on the right-hand side. When we do this run, we are very cognizant of where all the little tools and ammo and bombs and everything's at. And so we're constantly running by, triggering R2 to pick things up, just so we can get all the gear as we run by. It's imperative that we get everything that we can when we do this, because tools are the lifeblood.
The food isn't here.
And once again, you can see how effective these black powder bombs really are. Because, you know, one
Able to-
bomb throw, everybody's dead, basically.
Able to clear a deck with a single bomb. It's quite lovely.
It is.
Now, are you gonna go for the blowgun tactic, or are you gonna
I
kill
will
him?
try, yeah. So remember to do it and actually hit the guy, and not get beaten to death by him. Like I did last time.
So, after you find these battle plans in this ship, we run back over to the other ship, where once again Ryozo, being the amazing Ronin that he is,
Dude, shoot.
is getting his butt whipped. You need to de-aggro this brute, and the fastest way to do that is to just shoot him with a poison arrow.
Bastards! They're burning our food! Jump!
Let's get out of sight. There's
Still no food,
Once
though.
again,
That's a good hiding spot.
yep, no food. There was gonna be food, but then the Mongols said, "Well, burn the ship," and now you're going back empty-handed. And once again, Ryozo, he's upset about it. He's like, "I'm going back empty-handed," but realistically, like, come on now. At least you survived, right? Killed like 50 Mongols and you got away. So just be happy for that.
He isn't, though.
I need
He's
to
not.
find
He's
Yuna.
never happy. There's no pleasing Ryozo.
Yep.
That's why you've got to do 3 missions for him, because he's stubborn. Stubborn.
So that was 2 of them. Another is coming up really shortly.
And as you can see here, it was a very short ride from where we ended that mission at to Komatsu Forge, which is the reason why I was mentioning earlier, the specific order that we do the missions in sets up the shortest distance from end to start of new. Very helpful.
Yeah, so that over there already is Komatsu Forge. It is another town that is, beleaguered by the Mongol forces, but as the name implies, it has the best forge on the island, and as we explained earlier, we need Taka to smooth up something for us to scale the walls of Castle Kaneda, where our uncle is being held prisoner. So that is why we need the forge of Komatsu Forge. Also, where the hell is my horse? There it is.
I don't know if this Kaneda you speak of.
Not Canada, dude. It's not. It's Kaneda.
Fighting ahead.
And so once we get here, the idea in this section, there's a few Mongols here. You just clear them out real quick, make life better. And then after this, it's kind of got the fetch quest thing going on, but instead of fetching items, you're fetching people. It's a bit annoying, to be honest.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I really hated this quest on my casual playthrough because it's all this back and forth all over town, like getting all these people together. And like really annoying.
And the one person that should stay put, the strongest warrior of all of them, goes and runs off and does her own thing. It's like, now you got to go find her.
Yep.
It's a bit silly. The game is silly at sometimes, but it's okay. It makes up for it a lot of other places, so it's all right.
By the Mongols. She's alive. Is it safe?
But yeah, this
So
quest basically teaches you that Mongols can take hostages, and well, you gotta make sure that they don't kill the hostages.
Yes.
And they really drive that point home over and over again during this mission.
Show the Mongols where to find us.
Oh yes.
We can use it to lure them in. Force a fight at a location we control.
If you aggro
Taka.
the Mongols while there is a hostage nearby, the Mongol will then focus on that hostage, and if they strike them, they're one shots, so they're little squishy bears. They go down quick. So if you can't get to them fast enough, mission over, reset. Thanks for trying.
I mean, the whole island has been basically slaughtered by the Mongols, but God forbid another person dies.
Listen. This one could have been saved, so you better save them.
I think I just shot him between the legs with a fire
All's fair.
arrow.
All is fair. I'm not holding anything against you at this point. If you fire arrow a guy in the crotch, you fire arrow a guy in the crotch.
I must
It
have
is what it
heard,
is.
man.
Help!
All I'm saying.
Please.
Well, just think about later on when the Mongols march into this town and they see that guy
Stay close.
with an arrow in his crotch. That's terror before you even start the battle.
Probably.
So
Hide.
that's just building that terror meter.
Preemptively.
There you go.
Don't look at it.
So the idea for this part is Taka can't build you anything without his great assistant. So you run off to this first building, kill the 2 Mongols outside to save the assistant. Well, while you're off trying to save the assistant, he says, well, my wife, she's over here. Can you go save her? So you got to rescue her.
Now
you
we gotta
want to
bring them back
shoot
to the
these guys with
forge.
a flaming arrow or an explosive arrow to kind of get everyone to just disperse and go away. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why you saw Ash was double checking to make sure they don't always die or get feared. But now we've got the assistant, we've got the wife, so clearly we're ready, right?
Yeah, it's too big fight.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it.
Unfortunately, though, the great Yuna is she decided she wanted to run off and do her own thing too. So when we were ready and we risked our neck to go get the assistant and his wife, now we got to go risk our neck again to go find Yuna. So thanks a lot, Yuna. That's
The Mongols are
it's
here.
not very nice.
Where's Yuna?
Well, you know, she wanted to rescue even more people on the other side of the river, so yeah, just trying to be helpful, but she hasn't returned yet, so duh. All these helpful people.
Time. So the idea for this portion is supposed to be sneaking around again, all the way around, and basically assassinating these guys one by one, just so that way you don't have an issue with being seen or killing the hostage. But again, we don't have time for that. We're just gonna go straight up, roll our way right up to the first guy, and just oh no, you go a different route. Never mind, disregard me. I go sneaky route into it. A little bit different, but this is why
I'm gonna go
Ash should
fast,
leave
dude.
him. I do the other way.
Just kill the Mongols the quick way.
It works.
Everyone stay close to me.
Once you kill all the Mongols, now these ones can be saved. Yay!
Gotta go back to the
Super
forge.
exciting.
Where did he come from? It's a long story.
You know, gotta collect all the villages.
He's
That's
not
right.
It's like Komatsu Pokemon or something. I don't know.
Villagers, gotta catch them all.
Basically. Only they could transform and help you or something. I don't know.
So now we've got everybody. We're ready. The idea for
forge,
this
Tucker.
part
Watch
is that, all right, so we need to make a stand. So what are we going to do? We're going to light the forge so that way they know we're here and they come to us rather than us coming to them. Even though I think it'd be better to be super sneaky and, you know, ninja them from the bushes, we want to make our stand in this spot and just get, you know,
Well,
bum
you know,
rushed.
Jin still has a little bit of honor left in him.
A little bit. A little bit. So this is another fight that I would say before Ash really focused on where everybody can spawn from, because they all have spawn points. This one is another one where you can get just terrible RNG. You can get people stuck inside the forge, behind the forge. You can just, it's a mess. This battle stinks. It's definitely a run killer sometimes.
Where's that dog? Oh. Oh. Where? What? Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
Because normally that dude runs away when I kill the other one inside, but he didn't, so I have to go outside and kill him so that this guy actually spawns. Because I was looking for this spear guy the whole time.
The spear guy has to spawn to trigger the next spot. After you kill the spear guy, then you get to kill the archers, and then after you kill the archers, the second wave comes out, and then after the second wave, then you get the commander. So you survive. Again, plot armor is a beautiful thing, but I don't think this was really a well thought out plan.
Okay, totally missing that. Nice.
And as you see there, he's got Yuna doing all the work for him.
So this guy definitely is not supposed to get this far into the forge.
I hope you can save the villager. Okay, good. Again, I'm delayed by like 10 seconds, so I was nervous there for a little bit.
Ah, that's fine, it's fine. It's just this looked way more messy than it should have been, just because these two guys are running off because they didn't get terrified as they normally do. Again, you know, it's RNG. You are a slave to it.
So as you saw, this was another instance where the blowgun comes into play, and this is new routing techniques ideas, because instead of fighting that commander to finish him off, you shoot him with a poison dart. It instantly incapacitates him and ends the fight.
I should see if you know
So,
any news.
hooray!
Yeah, the thing is, we normally don't use the blowgun because when you use it the first time, a cutscene triggers between young Jin and his uncle, you know, telling him to be an honorable warrior and all that stuff, and that just loses time because that is one of the cutscenes you cannot skip whatsoever, and that is why we refrained from using it. However, we found out that as long as you haven't done a certain quest yet, a certain main quest yet, that cutscene doesn't actually occur. So, you know, we are good to use the blowgun until that point.
Yeah, Charles found out about that. He's another one that actually I would say does the most kind of, I would say, glitch hunting or exploit hunting. He did a lot of, hey, what do I do if I throw a bomb here and blow myself back up into? He's the first one that figured out how to
Will you join us?
basically explode his way through a locked door, which was pretty cool.
I mean, it's pretty normal stuff, you know, you just trigger an explosion and get blasted through the door, kind of. You could do
Yeah,
that
you
in
got to
real
get
life.
the horse backed up halfway into the door, throw the explosive right in front of the horse, spook the horse, get bucked off the horse, but because you got bucked backwards and you were halfway through the door, hey, now you're in there. It's great.
Totally normal stuff, right? Could happen in real life.
So Taka, the greatest blacksmith on the island, and the greatest forge on the island, he built you an iron hook. So, I mean, there's that. I'm sure for, you know, whatever year this is, that's super high tech and amazing, but did you really need the best forge to do that?
Definitely did.
Did you find food?
So
There's just
during
no
this,
other way.
Very well guarded.
during this part, we're going to see once again the Pogo Samurai, because Pogo Samurai again is faster than Ryozo being on his horse. If you get far enough ahead of Ryozo, you can actually start running. If not, you have to just keep jumping. But this mission here is called Iron Hook and is amply named so. If you count the number of times you use the Iron Hook in this mission, which is not intentional. You got the Iron Hook to save your uncle, not to, you know, go rescue Ryozo's men. You actually use the Iron Hook more in this mission than you do in the mission it was specifically created for.
You will never stop complaining about this, will you?
Never. That is ridiculous, and it makes me mad. It's like, here's a new tool. Let's learn how to use it during this mission. Okay, now here's the actual mission you got it for. But you could have used a ladder. Nope, you cannot. I'm bitter, okay? I get bitter about things.
Yeah, I
don't let them go. You know what conversation
man. You're just a
you know what
reuser and
conversation
waiting.
I haven't started yet, though.
Maybe I should have. Someone in Komatsu.
I still haven't started the conversation about how this is the game of the year. I don't care about Last of Us. This game. Game of the year.
Or it's the game of the hearts, you know.
Yes.
Clearly is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good times. So he's still mad at us. This is where we find out what I was telling you earlier, that you kind of messed him up, and because you did all the bad things to him, then it's, you know, it's kind of your fault that he can't become a samurai.
Take
Everyone was
responsibility,
there.
Ryozo, god damn it.
Yeah, everyone was there to see him, yet, or I'm sorry, it was there to see you, yet he was trying to prove himself, and you showed him up. So, you know, how dare you? How dare you?
It'll be dark soon. Ready to ride to Fort Yatate?
But we gotta go rescue his men. So, let's do this. Let's do this. This mission has been kind of routed a couple different ways. From when it started, there used to be basically like an over the top of all the buildings and then come down on everybody, and now we have the incorporation of the fire, which helps to change how we do the fights. And then at the end of this mission, you'll get to see the part where 2 black powder bombs can destroy an entire army of bad guys. It's quite fantastic.
Ah! Was too fast.
There's
So
only one
also
road
on
into
this
the
mission
fort,
here,
and it'll be heavily
you tell
guarded.
Ryozo you're going to go
I need to
climbing
get
up the
inside without
backside
being
of
seen.
the mountain.
The Mongols won't be watching the
And
cliffs at the back of the fort.
he asked you
climb
if
up,
you're half
go over the
monkey.
wall.
And because of that and that alone, Jin in
have
my
something to help
playthrough
me.
has a monkey
I'll
mask
free your
on.
men.
And when you get
Once they're with me,
the
I'll
Ronin
set off
armor.
one of the alarms.
Embrace
I think
the
it's-
That's your
monkey.
signal to ride in.
And crush
Embrace
the
the
Mongols between
monkey.
us. See, I knew you'd have a plan.
I mean, we
I'll
do a
find a
lot
way
of
up the
monkeying
cliff
around
on
for reviews, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Quickly, Tuggy.
But yeah,
So
this
once
is
again,
basically the
setting up his
introduction
arrows.
to the iron hook, how we can use that to, you know, grapple along things and whatnot, as the kid said earlier.
Can't jump that gap.
It's a
Somehow,
nice
though,
tool.
you
This hook will support my weight.
you have a
But
grappling hook that you can throw and latch on to branches. Every branch that has one of these
Red and white
I guess
stripes.
cloth, yeah,
starting to
on
like
it,
this hook.
you can grapple onto. It's very considerate of someone to go all over Tsushima and hang a bunch of red and white cloth on a bunch of branches so you would know where to throw your iron hook. So whoever did that is the true hero of Tsushima.
My headcanon
regardless of
is
what
that
Jin
it
does.
is Taka, because all of these red and white stripes only show up once you have the iron hook, and, you know, only Taka knew that he was doing that, and he said himself he tested it with his own weight, so, you know,
There you
he
go.
probably did all that.
So he could have ninja'd his way into this fort, but instead he's just like, meh. Now I'm just gonna mark these for you and call it good.
Well, you know, he's not a fighter, he's a blacksmith, as we learn later.
I really like the ones where you throw the hook and then you release the hook and throw it again, but you only have one hook. So I don't know how he's doing that, but you know, samurai magic, I guess.
He's just that good.
Need to find Ryozo's men.
So once he gets to the top of this cliff up here, if you notice when he was about ready to finish with Ryozo, he set up his arrows. Use a regular arrow to shoot a
Caged all
hanging
over the fort.
light, basically the fire. Catch that guy on fire. Woohoo, he's dead. Yay! And then now he's gonna just sneak up on these guys and kind of slowly murder his way through the fort. Because once again, Ryozo needs you. And so you are the greatest. You can kill everybody.
Oh, it didn't hit him.
And then you're showing it. So in here, part of this mission in here is to rescue the captive straw hats. And they're held in these bamboo cages. Just like the straw hat Ronin that was held in the bamboo cage earlier, it says hold R2 to open cage. We don't have time for that. We just hit it with a strong attack, and well, any attack. And the cage magically opens, so hopefully nobody's standing behind the door, and instant out for them. Fortunately, black powder bombs do not hurt our friends. So even though we've got six of our people standing around 3 of their people, we still want to blow them up. It's quite fantastic. That was a good dart, by the way. Right into his back and didn't do a thing.
Well, I hit his shield. But yeah, it was a little bit iffy.
To
Put it that way.
and get Ryozo in here.
So Ash pulled out incendiary oil for his sword. Again, fire is our friend.
Ready for you.
If we're not blowing them up,
Open the
we want to
gate.
set them on fire as much as possible, so we do.
So this is probably my
you wanna-
favorite fight in the game, because, you know, you have all these Mongols here, and we just wait for them to, you know, create one big mosh pit, and then throw one bomb in it, and they all die.
A lot of Mongols.
And
go
that's
down
it. That's a pretty big barbecue. Bombs still work, you know?
Bombs do work.
Get
Explodey,
out the
explodey is a
Mongols.
good thing. The burned body adds the extra flavor.
Smoke and ash of burning bodies. Nice.
All right, men, on your horses.
So that was it.
Need to meet
That was
you.
all that work that Ryozo had to do. We did it in like 2 minutes. I don't see why he couldn't rescue his own men, but again, he needs us, but then he gets mad because, you know, we're a better fighter than him. What do you do?
Even though we do all the work for him, a lazy bastard.
So we've done the Iron Hook, we've done the Sutsu Lighthouse, and we've done Blood on the Grass. So now we should have Ryozo on our team, right? We've recruited everybody. We've got the Iron Hook. We are now ready to save our uncle and end Act 1. So here's hoping.
I mean, we gathered all the allies that we could, right? We are now ready to assault Castle Kaneda and save our uncle.
We have 3 people. We are definitely ready. Before we were 1, now we are 4. Multiplication.
Yeah. So this is the part where we could talk to our allies to get a few more, dialogue options out of them, see how they're holding up before this battle and whatnot. Not gonna do that. Takes time.
Have a drink, you'll feel better.
Nope, there's too many good things around to pick up. Still want to pick up things like linen and stuff like that so we can sell it in case we need bombs or arrows later.
Everyone.
So this is actually also the last quest of Act 1, so we are about done with about, soon done with about 1/3 of the game already. So
Act 1 is, of the 3 acts, Act 1 is the most technical.
Looks like you can climb up here.
It's got the longest rides, the most routing involved. Act 2 pretty much guides you everywhere you need to go after a certain mission. It basically just starts pre-guiding you. So Act 1 is the most technical. Act 2 is still technical, but not as bad. And Act 3 is literal straightforward mess. Yeah. So I'm getting some delay on my side from like complete buggy, glitchy stops. So I hope that's not happening for everybody.
Dude, what was that?
We are infiltrating Castle Kaneda. And our idea here, the focus is to disarm these cannons, so that way they can't, signal an alert. Easy enough. We just run up and assassinate, and then boom, we're good. Hooray! Now it's time to put our allies to work. Oh, it is a thing. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was a thing and I'm just not losing my mind. Because if I needed to do a refresh, I would. So when we go into the courtyard, we have the option of going loud or, going sneaky. Again, we're speedrunners. We don't have time to go super sneaky. If we can be loud and effective, we're going to be loud and effective.
I mean, bombs are pretty loud, right? Can't put a silence on those.
Say so.
Jin, the gate's guarded.
Follow my lead.
So Lady Masako is going to get assigned to the Hwacha, and Hwachas are amazing. Just think of like a Saturn missile battery pack that you used to play with as a kid, the fireworks, if you guys ever got to play with those, but in real life arrow form. Quite fantastic. And this bridge that we're crossing, this is the previously mentioned about an hour and 20 minutes ago bridge that you got thrown off of. So if you look at how high up it is, this bridge is the one that you were tossed off of. And the game goes a little bit, I say meta or fourth wall, whatever you want to call it. And he threw you off of this bridge? How did you survive? I don't know. I did.
Could use Yuna's help.
I mean, it's enough, right? Gotta survive it once.
So this part here, that guy that walks down below, if you walk around a little bit, you're going to get a trigger to assassinate him. Assassinating an enemy from above, well, that's dishonorable, and that's going to get you another cutscene, so we don't want to do that. But once you do it once, then it opens it up to be able to do it the rest of the game, because you only get the cutscene once. So if you make the mistake, then it almost becomes worth it to do it more later. But if you don't make the mistake, you save more time overall. That was a nice slaughter. That was very
Why
good.
am I still able to assassinate all these guys?
They don't know you're there. It is actually quite impressive that they haven't noticed you up to that guy. So once you get in here and you clear out everybody. Now you got to go on to our
Hold this
first mini boss, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
Familiar
the first
face.
time.
Familiar face.
Yeah, and this is the first time we do an armor switch because we switch up to an armor that's DPS rather than terror because we don't need terror. And Ryozo, he's turncoat. He's upset because his men are starving and the Khan has promised him food, so he betrays you. In New Game Plus, you would not be, I guess, looked bad upon if you thought that Ryozo was the main bad guy, because you don't even see Khan until the very last fight. And you see Ryozo a lot. Quite a lot.
True.
Poor
true.
guy.
But yeah, Dance of Wrath basically makes short work of most of the duels in a New Game Plus run, because it just deals so much damage to everybody. And of course, it is a technique that you only get during a side quest, so if you were to play a New Game run of this game, you wouldn't even get that and had to do all the duels normally. Which of course would be quite a bit harder.
There is also a way to skip this standoff here. Not 100% sure how I do it, but I just kind of mash, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, it's a bit iffy.
It is iffy, so it's not too much of a time save or loss either way. If you skip the standoff, then you can possibly terror a couple of these guys. But if you don't terror them and you don't do the standoff, then it actually ends up being a little bit longer.
I just like to do it because it refills your resolve after the duel again, so you are able to use your techniques.
Yes, that is true. So that is one thing that the duels are very, very good for. It refuels your resolve. I think it's 3.5 for the first one, and then 2 for each consecutive strike afterwards. So it brings it up quite a bit.
Yep. Definitely does. And here's our uncle. We finally saved him. Hooray! We have a fighting chance now. Because of that one dude.
Come, Jin.
That's right.
We will clear the invaders from the northern
We have
border.
saved Lord Shimura, so now the island can be saved. It's not going to be by our hand. It's going to be clearly because of how great Uncle is. This is another quick fight. Easy peasy. Couple bombs. When I'm doing Act 1%, which is literally just this battle and that's it, you're done. I like to use my sticky bombs and just go all explosive on them and throw as much as I can.
Warriors of Tsushima, they need the circle. Let no one retreat.
And that is Act 1.
Well fought.
Hey, GG's.
Thank you,
That was a
thank
good
you.
Act 1, even with a couple of the bad RNGs, you still had a good Act 1.
Yeah, pretty happy with that.
Anytime you can get an Act 1 under 125 is really good. So 121.13 is what I saw when it came up. That's
121,
really good.
13. Might actually been
I'm gonna
better than my previous best.
I'm going to check for you. Don't you worry. I got you. I got you. So now that we've saved Uncle, the idea is that now we can start taking back the island. This game is very good at sectioning the island off. You couldn't come to this castle beforehand because if you got closer, it would say this is an overwhelming force. You can't survive and you will get just destroyed. And it's literally one bridge that takes you from part A to part B. To go from chapter 2 to chapter 3, there's 2 bridges that you can go over. But again, you can't get to them because of overwhelming force. So it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto rules where once you open it up, you can travel all over, but until then, it's got something that blocks you, which is pretty cool. I like it.
I have goods of all kinds.
Your best is
Only the
120.
best.
Let's see here. 121.44. So yeah, you did PB on
Okay.
that. GG's, my friend.
Woohoo!
I look forward
Marathon luck.
Yay!
Sakai.
Yay.
I mean, you just gotta carry that 30-second time save to the end of the game, and it's gonna be a world record, right?
Could be. I believe in you. I want you to understand that. I believe in you. I think chat believes in you. Now that you've got the PB, we got PB hype. I know
let's keep it rolling.
Yuna believes in you.
Oh, jeez.
Currently, Lord Shimura believes in you. Currently.
Spoilers, dude. He always believes in me. He's my trusted uncle who has raised me because all my family is dead.
We haven't even talked about what happened to Jin before this story and why he's so bent on it. So this is a good time for this.
Exactly. Go ahead.
So,
Uncle,
one of the other big parts in the prologue is you learn about what happened to Jin's family and why he's so close to his uncle.
can't imagine what you went through.
Your father was Lord Sakai. He was the leader of Clan Sakai. However, during a bandit raid,
Learned our language.
your
kept you
father
alive.
died.
What is
Your
he
mother
after?
had died beforehand, and then it was I think it was about a few years later. Then this
thought you'd
bandit
turn
raid
against your
came
own people?
and killed your father. You've been haunted, or Jin. I keep saying you and we like I am in the game. Jin's been haunted by that because he feels like he was a coward. He didn't help his father when he had the chance. He literally hid while the guy killed him. So he's been remorsed of that. But Lord Shimura is your uncle. I believe. I think it's on your mother's side, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I mean,
sure.
Otherwise it wouldn't make much sense, because if he would be your father's brother, Shimura would be the Lord of Clan Sakai, right?
Right,
So
right. So he's
it
your
has
uncle.
to be from his mother's side.
Yeah, and so he says, I'm going to take you in, and I'm going to teach you how to be a samurai. So he's like our father figure. He's our uncle. He's our entire life, and that's why. Again, when you play New Game Plus and you skip all the cutscenes and you skip the prologue, it does have a huge advantage for speedrunning. We know the game, but for those of you that don't know the game, you miss out on everything that makes this game great, in my opinion.
Bodies.
Speaking of which, since Shimura takes you in to basically raise you as his own son, one of the viewers in my streams once said that Shimura is basically your uncle dad.
Don't you say it.
Which we switched to dad uncle, and since then Shimura has become known as the Dunkle. There, I said it. Leah will be happy now. She won't.
It's her fault she's not here.
No, it's the organizer's fault. She would have been here, but it's just too early in the morning.
I still blame her. I'm here. Now, granted, it was 7 o'clock at night for me, so it's not like it was an issue at all for me.
Where is my horse? Where is my horse?
He ran off. He was tired of your shenanigans.
Where is my fucking horse? There it is.
It's not the one that's on the ground lying there, is it? No, it's
No,
not.
I hope not. God.
Yeah, look at that. The organizer is in here, and he heard you say that. He is hurt.
The whole thing why I got in this marathon is because I told you guys I had 2 Swiss ladies commentating for me, and then I was put at a 3 a.m. slot, and both of them was like, nope, I gotta sleep.
And I can guarantee you 2 Swiss ladies has a much nicer voice than this guy commentating, but this is what you get. So blame the commentators for having to listen to me for 3.5 hours.
Exactly. But dude, you are doing a banging job commentating, like really. Glad to have you
So
here.
Yay. So this fight, since we were too busy giving Raz to the commentators, kind of missed on what happens here. So as you come across with Uncle and you're done talking about what's going on, you find out that the Mongols are basically raiding and destroying everything. So you stop a bandit raid. And then you come to this lighthouse, and that's the idea. You want to light the lighthouse to give hope to your people. You kill one archer. Again, it's kind of this one archer theme that we got going. After you kill one archer at the gate, they open the gate, you throw a bomb, you run to the side, you blow up a barrel to kill everybody. This one can get a little bit RNG to where the enemies at one end kind of can be a pain in the neck, but once you clear them out, then more Mongols come from up the road. A couple little bombs. Easy peasy stuff. So now the idea here. Also, during the walk up to the whole after you save Lord Shimura and to get into here.
Would I know
Lord Shimura
Would I have gotten in without them? Sorry, just quickly answering the chat there.
Glad you came, you know.
I saw that.
What an effective distraction.
Sorry, go on.
Pleasure
One
to
of the
serve.
things that is also
Need
kind of a
more
key
warriors like
point
you
in
following
this
us
in
into
this
battle.
story
You may have trouble finding
is
them.
your uncle Lord Shimura does not really like that you've befriended this thief. And that becomes a theme and part of the game as well, is that she's a thief. She's not honorable. So when she helps you basically win this fight, Lord Shimura is like, you were an effective distraction. Like, that's cold, bro. That's cold.
I mean, it is true, but you know, it's a little bit, yeah, well, an expression of his distrust of her.
Which is funny because again, later on, he's a little bit two-faced because he gives you grief for liking a thief, but later on, one of his missions, and he'll tell you at the top of this lighthouse, he's like, I know this pirate that can get a message to the mainlands because he's a pirate. He knows how to sail out of these waters. And it's like, oh, you're giving us grief for knowing a thief, but you're
I mean,
friends
you know,
with a
it's
pirate?
basically his overprotective father side for Jin, you know, because he, as a father figure, sees his son basically being in cahoots with a thief, and it's like, bad influence, bad influence.
Oh, very bad influence. Because one of the other things that, again, story that you don't see is that several different cutscenes go back and forth between Lord Shimura and the Khan. And the Khan is basically taunting Lord Shimura, telling him that Jin is becoming this dishonorable individual, that he has started going around stabbing people in the back instead of facing them eye to eye. And that is something that it definitely does play for the reason why Lord Shimura doesn't trust you. I mean, trust her is because he thinks that she's corrupting you to not be an honorable samurai.
I mean, you know,
so
she
this
kinda is, but what choice do you have in the situation you are in, right? If you were just going to follow your samurai way and waltzing right into the front gate of every Mongol camp you come across, yeah, you wouldn't probably survive that for too long.
So this is Norio. Norio is one of a lot of people's favorite characters, but unfortunately has the least amount of dialogue in the entire game, and we don't care about what he has to
And
say.
also the
He starts
least amount
talking
of
about
quests that you have to do, because while you have to do at least one quest for every other character that you recruit, you have to do 0 for Norio. He just follows you around. He's just that good of a buddy.
he's good, and yet we literally just write off away from him. He starts talking about how we've got to go save this other temple, and he's just like, peace out, bro.
And we do that every time he comes on screen, because Norio's such a good bud, you can always just run away from him and there is no penalty for it.
So aside from having the amazing vocal talents of two Swiss ladies, Ash also had the amazing vocal talents of Jin and Norio on his very first speedrun of this game. And it was quite impressive because, like, Norio, who's someone we don't ever really talk to in the game, in the speedrun, did literally the most talking during the whole speedrun. So it was quite nice. It was fitting that the one person we don't talk to in game was talking IRL. It was quite lovely.
He had to make up for it somehow, because because you hear so much of Jin, but so little of Norio. It just had to be reversed in real life, I guess.
I did feel bad for Jin. Jin was the main character in the game, but during that speedrun, he was pretty silent. But I mean, he got in his words when he wanted to. It was just really funny. But if you guys aren't part of this community, let's go ahead and plug the community real quick. If you guys aren't part of this community, it is a great community. It's kind of gotten a little bit more focused on legends rather than the story.
The multiplayer mode of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. But when we first started doing speedruns and when we got into the first speedrun of this, Ash reached out to the production team and reached out to the voice actors and had the voice actors on here, and they are such great characters. Like, they really are. They're amazing people.
Awesome people. And they also stream, by the way.
Really cool.
So
yes, they do.
If you want to catch their streams, you can follow Daisuke2G and Earl of Samich. They are streaming pretty regularly on Twitch, and they are the voice actors of Jin Sakai and Norio, respectively.
Which I think is really funny. If you look at Earl of Samich and you look at Norio, It's like they created the character off of him, and he sounds just like Norio because he is Norio. But I mean, he looks like he sounds, and he sounds like he looks, and it made it a perfect pairing for the game. It really did.
For sure.
So one of the things that again is kind of overlooked here, just because of how often Ash plays this game, Ash isn't pulling up his menu. He knows what he's doing and he knows where he's going. The first thing that we want to get to is Yarikawa. If you pull up your menu between after you talk to Norio and before you get to Yarikawa, and yeah, I think it's even afterwards.
Interesting enough, right as you said that, I got lost for a bit.
If you pull up your menu, it does like a 25-second cutscene, and it's slow and it's terrible.
I just got lost between these bushes for a bit, but I found my way eventually.
Did you not find your green bush? You gotta find that green bush.
No, I didn't find my green bush. I don't know. It's gone. It withered and died. Rip green bush. Evans chat.
Rip the green bush. That's a worse fate than the Clan Adachi.
Yeah. Fuck Clan Adachi, we got a pair of specs to that one green bush. That serves as the marker of where to go. Way more important.
Jin, you
didn't ever see Clan Adachi anyway.
Once we get here, this is another kind of, hey, you're supposed to be sneaky mission coming up, and we show off our amazing skills of Tumbleweed Samurai. This mission, the idea for this is, this is now where you're learning a little bit of the backstory of Yuna and Taka. Yarikawa was their home, and Yuna took them out of there, her and Taka, at an earlier age. And when you do Yuna's side missions, you find out why. Her side missions, I think, have they're the more, I want to say, modern day realistic that you can feel. Like the Clan Adachi thing, I get it, but there's not a whole lot of clans going around murdering each other. However, Yuna's story is something that is still an unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was definitely something that, if you play her story casually, and obviously we don't want to give away what the actual story is for her, but if you play her story casually, it's very impactful, and you can see why she is so protective of her brother.
The hidden entrance used to be over there.
I mean, you know, if you just look at it, all of the storylines are pretty dark in a way, because there's a lot of betrayal going on and just horrible stuff all around that's happening. But different stories just hit home differently, depending on your own experiences and whatnot.
So, once we get to Yarikawa, it gives you 3 things that you're supposed to look at and view to understand where to go and what to do. This is the first instance where you can skip one of those. As long as you view the camp first and then you view the white tree, it triggers the next scene. And then you just kind of roll your way all the way to the water. Meanwhile, Taka is complaining that, you know, he can't keep up with you somehow. And you find the secret entrance underneath the waterfall.
I mean, of course it's beneath the waterfall, right? It's always beneath the fucking waterfall, like, no matter what it is.
Everything is beneath the waterfall.
Yeah, I mean, you know, secrets, treasure chests, secret entrances. It's always beneath the waterfall.
So in the game that I'm playing right now casually, I put in such a old school JRPG reference. I have a stairway to the basement behind the throne. So proud of that.
I forgot to do the arrow thing. Oh well.
So during this part right here that you're seeing, and he's doing the Dance of Wrath, the reason why he does that is because, again, this is a spot where you have to walk. But unlike the other spots where you can jump, they actually disable jumping in that spot. So if you use Dance of Wrath, you can actually get to this part faster. And then once again, Charles came up with the idea that if you run up the ladder and then jump down, you can skip the whole part where they talk about how the Mongols are approaching, and you get right to where the Mongols are at the gate. So it saves a few seconds
They need my
if you
uncles
can
as
move
just
through that
units then.
quickly.
I mean, you know, Temuge, General Temuge is actually outside that gate, right? If you could just kill him then and there, we would save so much time because all the next 3 quests all revolve around him.
But then you wouldn't have the slaughter technique.
But still, you know, it's New Game Plus, I don't need the
But
slaughter
still.
technique, I already have it.
That's
So,
true.
That could have gone better.
So the idea for this area, once again, there's so much story that goes in here that we unfortunately missed by. So Yarikawa is basically the other major stronghold area of the fort. There was a rebellion between Yarikawa and Shimura sometime between when Yuna was young and present day. I think it was
yeah,
like
I think
10
about
years
20,
ago or something
I
like
think
that.
it was 20 or something. A little bit
Yeah,
longer.
something like it wasn't very long ago. But so it's still recent enough that a lot of people that are alive remember it. So there's a lot of animosity between the two. When you come to Yarikawa to recruit them to try to help the island, basically enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing, the idea is that you want to recruit them, but they basically think that the Mongols are going to...
Just gonna leave them alone, yeah. They will leave eventually. And just
with the
bug
actual
off.
invasion, because Tsushima was a jumping point. It wasn't really a focal point. And so Yarikawa has the idea that if they hold out long enough, the Mongols will just forget about them and they'll move on.
But they won't.
But they don't. They don't. Unfortunately, the Mongols attack at some point. We're not going to say when, but at some point, the Mongols will attack. And
Sign of a skilled archer.
luckily, you're there to save the day. I don't know if they can hear us right now, but
3, 4 men.
Can you tell where they went?
Let's find out.
They used to come here to catch crickets.
At least once a week.
Then we'd weave
I think
tiny
we may have
bamboo cages
lost
for them.
Do you remember why we came here to catch
capture.
crickets?
No.
To get
Sorry,
you
just keep
away
going.
from our mother.
Keep going. It's going to be
When she
strong.
was angry and looking for someone to blame.
Dude.
Crickets kept you busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, something happened, yeah.
Okay.
So are you doing the Cowards of Yarikawa, or are you on your way to the armor?
I am going. I just paused it for now. Yeah, I do have a red square instead of a green one. Should I just
Oh.
stop streaming and start again?
Yeah, tried it, yeah.
Says the stream key is out. Oh, stream key? It tells me I can't access the channel or the stream key.
When you're trying to go live?
Yep.
Oh, damn. Okay. So this happened again. That is very unfortunate. So you're currently not live, right? And when you're trying to go live,
Yes.
you get like a message that it like can't connect or something?
Exactly. Could not access
Okay.
the specified channel or stream key. Please double check your stream key.
Okay.
If it is correct, there may be a problem connecting to the server.
Yeah. Okay, this happened on my Borderlands run as well. What I would like you to do is you, instead of where are you at? Message, there you go. I sent you something, and when you go into the settings,
Put that in as the server.
yeah,
Same stream key.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that seems to be working.
Quickly double checking on my end. Oh, got something. Eh. Yeah. I can see. It is
Yeah.
working, I believe.
Okay.
Quickly fixing it on the server. Do. Well, this is very unfortunate. Sorry, guys.
No problem. Happens.
It's okay. Looks like we are getting some audio through. I don't know if you have music going on the
Yeah,
stream or
that's
not. but-
music. That's on the
Okay.
server. Right. I can't. This is annoying. One sec.
Actually, be able to catch a breather here.
Hey, we said only one break during this run.
Yeah, but I get 2. Ah.
This has put me to bed much later than I wanted to be. That's it. I'm out. I'm done.
Oh yeah, because of a 2-minute break, dude.
All right, there we go. I can see.
Woo. Yeah, I can see it too.
All right. Yeah, we can actually. Okay, and wait. Yeah, okay, we're live again. I'm gonna restart the timer or continue the timer in
Yeah, sure.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Hello, everybody. We are back. Woo! Not exactly sure when we cut out, so I'm just gonna jump around a little bit here to catch you guys up.
Tracks lead to this house.
Didn't the samurai live here?
But
You want a map?
bear, dead bear.
Bear. Yes.
Oh, it's dead.
So. Oh, okay.
Rats.
Well, I couldn't see it was dead yet.
At least the bear didn't get them.
Bear. Bear.
Yarikawa.
Bear ate most of the food.
Yarikawa.
Maybe that's why I'm still alive. He wasn't hungry.
Arrowheads, bowstrings, hide to make adhesive.
So, all right, now we can talk about what's
The
going
archers
on
must
here.
have been here.
So I'm not sure how much of the comms you guys missed out on during the temporary disconnect. The idea is Yarikawa basically feels like the Mongols are going to just forget about them. So they're just going to try to hold out, live through the siege. The general's going to be needed somewhere else, so eventually they'll bugger off and won't mess with them.
Staying low for a reason.
That's not going to happen.
your heads down.
So we
Don't
still
pull.
need to recruit them. We still need to do good things. So after we pick up Taka, we learn that there is a group of archers, the most skilled archers in Yarikawa. They left for some
You
reason.
must be the archers
They
from
were off to
Yarikawa.
go try to fight the Mongols themselves, kind of ambush tactics and things like that.
Let's have
But
a look at that
unfortunately,
then.
they got caught. So now we got to help
There's your
Daikoku
archers.
save his archer buddies. Which again, this is a theme. Somebody wants to do
Good
something,
idea to rush in.
they screw it up, and we have to come in and save the day.
I mean, we are the best guy on Tsushima, right? Oh,
The
natural.
finest Tsushima warrior. The finest.
I'll shoot the barrels when the Mongols get close.
So this fight is another fight that, again, there's quite a few of them that RNG can kick your backside. This was one that RNG triggered me pretty bad on one of them. As you saw, Ash hit one of the explosive barrels off to the right. That aggroes the enemies, so it brings them into the fight faster as opposed to them just kind of slowly galloping. Ash, again, being the great Ash that he is, has learned where all the enemies spawn at. So he knows if he throws his bombs, if he shoots his arrows, if he does whatever he does, he knows when he can start taking off and go to the next spot. So, yay for him. But he can make pretty quick cleanup of this if he knows where he's going with it,
Where's the last one? There.
as I say that.
What are you doing over there, dude?
Is he stuck behind a tower?
He's just behind there doing whatever the hell. Like, he was way off from everybody else. Like,
Hanging out.
yeah, all the NPCs already returned to their starting or their end positions. It's just that one Mongol running
That's
around
because that's a
somewhere
general. He
willy-nilly.
ain't doing nothing.
I mean, you know,
You
I
can't-
think the dynamic here is really nice. Like, you explain how good everything can look, and then the game just decides to throw a curveball and the exact opposite.
Get your RNGesus prayers out, please, everybody. Clearly, we are messing something up here. I think that's That is what you call commentator's curse, I believe is what that's called.
Yeah.
Sakai, you're back.
Look at how good he
Probably.
does. Ah, he screwed it up. Never mind.
You know, I'm just showing off, or the game is showing off, how things can go wrong.
Again, you're not doing it wrong. You're showing the way that we don't prefer to do it.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I'm honored
You
to
know.
assist you.
Giving the audience
So-
something to look at.
Now
I
that
can do a
we've
lot with this.
rescued the great and wonderful
Just for
archers,
you.
we're going to do a quick shopping trip. Make sure we have at least enough smoke bombs. This is the other place where smoke bombs are super important, so we want at the very least 2. And we're going to refill our our boom boom parts, which are awesome. And now, again, the Mongols, they're not going to forget about Yarikawa. They're going to attack Yarikawa, and that's what we're about to experience. Super fun time. We get introduced to siege weaponry. Oh, I love siege weapons.
Not for long, though.
Siege weapons are one of my favorite historical weapon, I think. Because you
does
don't
that
see it
sound?
anymore. I mean, oh yeah, I love siege weapons.
Let's go.
Trebuchets,
How close?
catapults,
They're at the main gate.
see all the different types of battering rams. Oh goodness, siege weapons are the greatest.
Yeah, but you won't be
Because
seeing
there's
them
so
for
much
long.
more
Everyone
thought
who
into
can fight
those
and get them to
than
the keep.
sticky pokey stabby.
True,
They're
I
attacking.
guess.
Stand your ground.
I think you are the expert
Every
on
Mongol
siege
who sets
weaponry
foot
here.
inside our walls will die.
I just
I
like
just
siege
shoot explosive arrows at the guys rushing into the gate.
Cut them down.
I didn't say I like the siege weapons in this game because you know they're bad for you, but in real life. And I don't shoot explosive arrows in real life, so I have no offset comparison. So we're just gonna go with that. So the idea for this is there's an attack at the main gate and then there's an attack at the north gate. If you basically concentrate your explodey arrows right as they start running in, you'll clear up that area really fast. Get over to the next part and go kaboom in here, and then just stand at the door and kill them as they start running through. If you step onto that, Ash is being very careful. If you step too far onto that bridge, you will get annihilated. They rain arrows on your head. It's quite unlovely.
Always that one
Unlovely.
dude, not running away like he should.
He is the tryhard. He's the one that will win the war.
Mm.
You're gonna win the war on your side. He's the guy. He's the Jin Sakai of the Mongol army. What can you do?
He died pretty fast for Jin Sakai on the Mongol side. I'm gonna lie. Oops.
So, the idea for this part, and again, it's a little bit delayed, so you may have already seen it. The idea, we run through this camp because it doesn't matter if we aggro them. If you were doing this on New Game or you didn't have smoke bombs, you would have to kill all the bad guys before you can destroy these catapults. But once again, thanks to the magic of smoke bombs, they take you out of combat immediately. So you just run up to the triggers to destroy them, drop a smoke bomb, and we destroy both of the trebuchets.
And all these
Immediately.
Mongols have no idea what the hell just happened, but all the siege equipment is gone.
It'll be easy to get back to the
Right.
stronghold.
And then they just stand there and watch you as you look back at the keep. They're just kind of standing there hanging out. They don't care that you're, you know, observing the fight. They're just gonna watch you. They're good. So now when you get back to the keep, there's a couple ways to do this. You can go sneaky over the top, you can jump down and roll, or you can run straight up and drop a smoke bomb. Either way you choose, as long as you don't get seen by the last enemy area, and you can get up
That's
next
the
to the door,
general, Tamuka.
you're safe. That's what you
Sounds
want.
like he's near the
If
keep.
you have to attack these guys, it becomes quite a lengthy endeavor, and it's not really any fun.
So
So,
technically, I
Tumbleweed
wouldn't
Samurai.
need to roll here. I could just, run up to the gate, as we could just explain, drop a smoke bomb to enter this gate. However, on lethal, can be a little bit iffy with the timing on the smoke bomb, and the enemy is not killing you before you can open the gate. So I just prefer rolling here for a little bit of safety.
Yeah. Once again, switching armor. We're gonna go and we're gonna be
Another
super
duel.
strong. We're gonna fight General Tamuka, who is big bad guy. Big bad guy. Look at him. He is big bad guy.
I am Jin Sakai.
Not for long,
I'm
though.
I
pretty.
have killed men like
No,
you all
no.
across our island.
And I can never tell who he kills there. Does he kill the main guy or does he just kill a random person?
I think it's just a random archer.
You have killed
Kinda
men
seems
in
so.
many countries to
But they never. I don't think they show you the other guy afterwards, unless they do in the
I've
story. I just don't remember.
actually never looked for him again, so I couldn't even tell you, to be honest, right now.
So General Tamuge, he's supposed to be big, he's supposed to be bad, and he's supposed to be scary. But once again, Dancing Wrath a few times, and a couple random slicey dices, and he's done. It's game over.
Because I'm bigger, better, and scarier, right?
Invaders!
Right, you're half his size and wearing, you know, a quarter of the armor, but yeah, you are clearly more badassier.
Yeah.
So this is where you would normally learn in New Game the slaughter. If you get 7 kills in a row, or if you kill a general from hiding, you get the ghost stance. And the ghost stance allows you to go into that mode where you saw where everything was kind of red and gray, and you get 3 uninterrupted attacks that do pretty massive damage and are guaranteed one-shot kill on anybody except for mini bosses and main bosses. So if you need to use those against a general that just won't die, that's oftentimes a way to go to it. And then your goal here is to hunt every Mongol down and kill them all, but instead just run through the town, get to the trigger point, game over.
I mean, they're all running away anyway. Most of them, at least. So
Congratulations, you have saved Yarikawa.
Next up is the quest that actually triggers me the most during a New Game Plus run, because the whole point of the next quest coming up is to get Jin's family armor, the Sakai armor, which we are actually wearing right now. So, you know, since we are playing a New Game Plus, we of course have that already.
And the blowgun. Don't forget the blowgun.
Yeah, but we have that as well. You know.
Right.
So
this is definitely something that you should be able to skip on in some way. Like, you go up there and Yoriko says something along the lines of, "Oh, I see you've retrieved your armor. Yay!" And then that should be it. That should be it.
I mean, you know, it's a very emotional quest. It's a very story-driven quest, but it just doesn't make any sense normally on New Game Plus.
Yeah, and she's another one that has a realistic modern-day story, I guess you could say. Yoriko, I think that's how
Yoriko,
yeah. Yoriko? Yeah. Yoriko is starting to battle dementia, and she's starting to die. And she has a pretty touching story. It's very short, and I really enjoy how they ended her story. Really
I mean, you know, it just touches on you and your relationship probably to your grandparents and stuff, because you can definitely see that happen even today. Because, you know, she is this old woman. She has been taking care of Jin's home while he was away. She has taken care of Jin himself when he was younger, when his mother died and all that stuff. So they are pretty close.
Yep. And a little bit of a spoiler, she kind of takes care of Jin's daddy too, but again, spoiler. She falls in love with Lord Sakai, and you see that through her mental state deteriorating. You see her basically think that you're your father, and she starts doing all these weird things, and it's very touching. It's a really good story. But again, spoilers. So our current mod is mentioning this is where he is at in the story. So shh, no more forward talk. Close your eyes. You don't want to see this. One of the things that Ash just did as he passed by here, he doesn't beeline directly to the Sakai estate. He stops by Lord Sakai's camp. It's a little bit out of the way.
Lord Shimura's camp.
Yeah, Lord Shimura, sorry. Thank you. Lord Shimura's camp. It is a little bit out of the way, but because you have to travel there later, it actually saves time to pick that up, go slightly out of the way on your way to the Lord Sakai's estate, so that way you can just fast travel there later. Because that is something that is super important, is knowing the quick fast travel areas.
And, you know, it's on the way somewhat. It would definitely cost more time if we would have to get back later on. So just grab that and continue on there. It's nice.
Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, we are coming up on Omi Village, which is actually Jin's hometown, which looks pretty deserted. But there's some smoke coming up from our home. Sakai Estate, so yeah, let's see who's home. And to be honest, the serene forest surrounding Omi Village is probably one of the most beautiful looking locations in the whole game. Like with all the different colored trees and whatnot going on. And then the stark contrast with the white trees in Omi Village itself. It's a really beautiful looking place.
No sign of more.
Artistic direction and style of this game is just amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
A
there's
lot
a
of this
good
game is
reason
amazing.
why the game has such an in-depth photo mode.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Which I learned how to turn off.
I'll get
Great thing. So when
What?
you're doing different tool
What's he doing
things, you
there?
may accidentally hit the photo mode. So I learned how to turn that off in options before you even start the game.
Blasphemy.
So, yay!
Blasphemy.
I mean, you can turn it back on if you want to do pictures, but while I'm doing a speed
Blasphemy.
run, I don't want to accidentally take a shot of my toe. I don't care what my boots look like.
Blasphemy, dude. Utter blasphemy. Turning off photo mode. Oh my god. Out.
We're gonna have to make
Wicked
that a
out.
new speed run.
Out. Out.
A new speed run category without photo mode and with photo mode.
It's a requirement. You
They'll
have to
have-
take at least one screenshot now.
Tell me more about that someday.
Right? They'll have literally the exact same times, except one of us will have to accidentally trigger photo mode once. Okay, he's got photo mode. We're good.
Run is valid.
Does he still act like he's the only one who knows how to do things?
Yeah, if you don't take a picture of your foot while trying to shoot somebody in the face with an arrow, the run clearly was not meant to be.
Yeah.
Lord Sakai.
Oh my god. Imagine if we actually put that into the rules. That would be hilarious.
I think that the former top mod would probably lose her mind with that. Are you kidding me? With the things I'm trying to implement and the actual logical stuff, you guys want to put in a stupid photo mode requirement?
Yep, we do.
Yes, we do.
It's a thing
It's
now.
for the memes. This has become a meme run now. The memes.
I mean, what
So-
isn't for the memes nowadays, to be honest?
That's true. It's true.
If it's not for the memes,
mean,
what are you doing with your life?
I have had created for me a tumbleweed samurai emote specifically because of the memes. You gotta meme it. You got to. You got
I
to.
mourn my father.
True, true.
Run invalid. Speaking of the photo mode,
We
if you
used to
join
live
our Discord, the Speedruns Discord for Ghost of Tsushima, we actually have a specific area to post your favorite photos. We like seeing them. I love seeing them. And I personally wanted to see a picture on the speedrun background rather than the plain black. And so after discussing it with Ash, we decided to open up a contest and we let the community submit their own photos and pick.
There were some
or
great
let-
screenshots in there. Like,
Oh,
holy
yeah,
hell.
absolutely. And then the community voted on them, so nothing was ever just picked. And the winning one got to be the background for the speedruns, which I think is really cool because we kept the community involved at every step. And now that image was an image that was created by one of the community, and it is an impressive image.
It's really great looking. I really like it.
So now that we have paid our respects to our father, written our haiku, now we get the armor. And so we take off the Sakai armor, and then we put on the Sakai armor. So that way we're dressed in Sakai armor for this fight. And you can do a standoff here if you'd like. Quick little smoke bomb, triple assassination, or double, and another finish here. It's easy. It's much faster than trying to do the standoff. But if you don't get them together, Ronin are the second worst enemy in the game, with doggos being the first.
Yeah, the Ronin are really tanky. Like, holy crap. I think they even
Well,
have
they're
more
super-
HP than any of the brutes.
But not only that, but they're super dodgy too. They're really quick. They deflect more of your shots than anybody else.
Yes.
They are a pain in the neck. They are terrible. I hate them. I hate them very much.
Yep. But we don't have to face them for long, so it's all good. All good.
It's all Ryozo's fault. He has betrayed us. He's betrayed the island.
Trade
He needs
Tsushima.
to, yes, yes. He needs to be finished off.
We'll get to that.
So are you doing the technique that Charles told you
if
about
it
with the arrow?
works, I screwed it up the last few times, so let's see here.
Not an easy one to
Hey,
go with.
I actually hit him.
Hey, so the idea for this, there used to be the way that we came in here, we'd sneak around these guys. But instead of doing that now, Charles came up with the idea you snipe that guy with the flaming arrow and you can just ride straight up. It actually saves significantly large amount of time, even though you saw him stop, because you only get off the horse to get the reeds, and so there's no running back and forth. It's much faster. So what we're doing right now is we are collecting bamboo reeds. And the reason for that is because Yuriko made mention that she used to make poison, or she makes poison to keep rice safe from,
Nice.
rats and stuff like that. And so Jin was like, "Hey, can you make it strong enough to kill a person?" And she's like,
Let me
nobody
think
should
about
suffer
it.
like that." And he says, "Well, yeah, but they're Mongols, so who cares?" That's Jin's opinion, not mine. So he convinces her because he is her lord after all. So she says, "Fine, you get me the poisons, and how are you going to distribute it?" He says, "Well, a blowgun." So now you get the blowgun and you get the poison, and shame on you for being that disgraceful.
And this is actually the quest after which we would trigger the flashback between Jin and his uncle if you were to use the blow dart still. So after this quest, we are not going to use it anymore.
It's nice to ride with you again.
Because, it would take us, I think it's a 20-second cutscene or something if you use the blow dart afterwards. It's only once, but we don't actually need it anymore anyway, so it becomes useless to us. And to the speedrun itself.
Right. Yeah, this is the mission that we were talking about earlier, that until you do this mission, blowgunning is free. Yay!
Yeah.
But after this one, no goes. No goes. And there really isn't anything to use this on though. I have yet to try it out. I've not done a New Game Plus full run since we had the idea. I want to try it on the con and see if it works.
Logan?
What?
Yeah, on the ship.
I don't think it does.
Not during the duel on the ship.
He's pretty
maybe-
much immune to basically everything in that fight.
I know
But
the
I
story.
wonder
My uncle's
if you
black
could
eye took
use
weeks to heal.
the hallucinogen darts on the brutes.
I think you could. At least I don't see a reason why you
Probably.
couldn't.
But
Do that?
it'd be slower though.
I don't remember my
Probably.
father's
It'd be
laugh.
slower. Just a thought.
I mean, it could get a load off your back, but you would still have to watch the cutscene. So
That's true. So who wants that? Nobody wants cutscenes. Ain't nobody got time for cutscenes. We gotta go super
Uncle's on
fast.
and a
Right.
campfire. You sleep out here?
Only when I spend the day foraging for plants. I'll look for the flowers.
So now we gotta pick up these purple flowers, which have the poison seeds. So Yuriko can make a poison.
Yuriko.
Oh, I know. Remember how we
Even though you've already got
your mother?
poison
She
darts.
arranged them for the little alcove at home.
Silly.
That should be
Silly! That's why he gets triggered with this one.
Your plants.
good.
Now, legends have it that if you go counterclockwise, you're doing it correctly. If you
See
go
if this poison
clockwise, you're doing
works.
it incorrectly. So I think that was clockwise. So I'm sorry, you did it backwards, sir. You did it backwards.
Where is that legend coming from? It's the first time I
I
hear it.
just came up with it because you do it the opposite way that I do, and so I have to make it sound like mine's better.
Really?
It really doesn't matter which order you pick those flowers up in, but there is discussion as to which way it's supposed to be.
I mean,
One of
from
the
way
original
from the way
runners
that
of-
I come, I face Yuriko head on, so I can immediately talk to her, so I don't have to go around her.
One of the original runners of this game tried to kind of write a guide, and not tried to. I mean, he put a lot of hours into this game, lots and lots of hours. Over 100 runs of Act 1 before New Game Plus even existed. So that's 3 hours each. He put a lot of time into this game. And so when Ash would do something that was not normal, he would yell at him for being off the script.
And I would do that all the time. Like, literally.
So now that we've gotten the ghost armor, now we need to go and recruit said pirate that we talked about way long ago. So we can get our message over to the Shogun. The idea is because this pirate is super water savvy, that he'll be able to get past the Mongol blockades and deliver the message to the Shogun that, hey, the Mongols have invaded. Can you send some people, please? That would be very helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, because what you have to keep in mind is that the whole island of Tsushima is surrounded by Mongol ships, so you can't actually, just send a ship on your own out there and try to contact the mainland and actually tell them what the hell is going on this island because of all that blockade.
Yeah, because they can't see it, clearly.
Yeah. But, you know,
They've
we
not
need
had
help
any fishing
because
boats
all the
interrupted.
samurai are dead except for Jin and his uncle. So we need reinforcements if we are to win here.
They need to be samurai reinforcements because they are the most impressive battlers. Battlers, is that a word?
I think you can make it
battlers.
work. I think you can make it work.
So we're off to Umugi Cove. Umugi Cove is nestled kind of secretly in this foresty, cliffsidey sort of area, and unless you know where to look, you could very easily overlook Umugi Cove. There is no direct go here marker like there are on every other mission. It leads you to the Umugi Cove area, and then it says, find the entrance to Umugi Cove. Combatants? No, that's just too easy of a word. Battlers. Makes more sense.
It's in the name, right? Battlers. They do battle.
Exactly. They are the ones that battle. They are battlers.
I mean, what even is combat? Like, what? What the hell?
Right. I don't combat. I battle.
It's not even written with a K. God damn it.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand combat if it's not with a K. Speaking
and if it is
of,
not mortal.
no, I don't think we need to get into the Mortal Kombat conversation.
Oh man,
But OMG.
I am so looking forward to that new movie coming out. Like, really, I am.
OMG. Anyways, back to Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, this
What?
kind of does look like Scorpion's Forest, so why not? Why not?
I just don't see a
It's a
guy
decent
running
time for-
around with a rope coming out of his hand, you know, telling people to come over here.
He could be. He could be.
Secret cameo character.
There you go. Who was that? So now that we've made it to Umugi Cove, we
Ronin.
just basically got to get in there. But before we can actually do anything at Umugi Cove, we have to speak with the lady. And the lady gives us some extra side missions and things that we can do as well. But again,
Not
we're
gonna
not
do it.
recruiting her, so we don't want to.
No, I
All
couldn't
these,
do it.
all these people want to be Jin's friend, and we're just like, no, we ain't got time to be your friend.
Got enough friends.
Welcome to
I've got bombs.
Right?
They are friends enough. They kill people
I see the
way more
Mongols
efficiently
have-
than any of you.
Thank you.
Come see me again sometime. I think we can help.
Why do you need friends if you have bombs, right?
Right? Ash 2021. Who needs friends when you have bombs?
You must be
Oh
Goro.
god.
I don't know if you could put that on a t-shirt and not enter some sort of list, but
I thought my debt to
I
Lord
mean, maybe that
Shiva
should be on a
was
t-shirt.
erased. That's
I
why
think it's a
was
great
drinking
slogan, isn't it?
To celebrate your
There you
escape.
go.
To mourn the samurai.
Speedrunners don't need friends, they gotta go fast. Yes, friends slow you
Protecting men
down.
like me.
Terrible. Shame on them.
They swore to defend
We don't need
everyone
friends.
on
We don't need
Tsushima.
love interests. We need go fast and boom boom. That's all we
I
need.
don't know if I can repay
That's a speedrunner's
your
creed.
sacrifice.
My master would
Right there.
ask for your help if he expected
So this
you
is
to
our
fail.
pirate. This is Goro. See, so clearly
This is my
it is Mortal Kombat. See, everything kind of loops around. You guys thought we were totally off and just
That
left
Mongol
field? No,
blockade won't be easy.
that's Goro.
You have Lord Shimura's message.
He has
Oh right,
it is
yeah, but he
kept
only
on
has
the
2 arms
Akashima
here.
coast.
Right. Well, this is before he got mutated in the Outworld.
One of my
Ah, I
boats
see.
is hidden
Makes sense.
near Fort Mitodake.
Didn't know Goro was a pirate.
This map shows where
He can
our
be
route
anything
on
you
the
want him to
forest
be.
road.
He's a fictional character, Ash. Come on now. Bring it around. Bring
True.
it around. I'm trying to tie it all together, okay?
Doing a good job of it. Doing a good job of it. I am impressed with your storytelling skills.
So I like Goro's story. Goro's like, hey, so what's the message? And you say, well, Lord Shimura's got it. And he's over at a camp over here. And Goro goes, oh, cool. I happen to have a boat there.
He is here.
So
because of course he does.
meet me here. It's like all the places you could be. That's the one. And of course, it happens to be next to a fort because if you're going to stash a boat, why not stash it next to a heavily guarded fort? Makes
total
sense to
sense.
me.
Yeah, I mean it's well
Yeah.
guarded, isn't it? Keeps bandits away. It's near a fort.
True. Nobody's
Probably.
going to steal your boat if they're afraid the Mongols are just going to destroy you.
Yeah.
So we travel back to Akashima Village.
Which we
I
got
didn't
the
talk about
fast
it.
travel point for way
Yeah.
at the start of Act 2.
That's what I was going to say. We didn't talk about it, but when you do the first ride to Yarikawa, you kind of again take a little side path to trigger that Akashima village, so that way you can fast travel.
Yeah, we had our
this
talk
mission
about
specifically.
Norio back then, so
Yeah, that was far more important.
yeah.
Far more important.
No, he's such so
So
nice.
now we're off to talk to Lord Shimura,
Yes.
and if you do this mission after you get the armor, he tells you how great the armor looks on you if you're wearing it. But if you don't have the armor yet, it skips that dialogue. So extra little bit of dialogue. That's okay, because we're not wearing the armor, so it's fine.
Not that the armor is bad, it's just that we rather wear the ghost armor. Because we're the ghost. I mean, it's the ghost of Tsushima, right?
I'm curious how
That's
you met
right. It's
Goro.
not the heavily armored samurai of Tsushima.
I mean, to be honest, I was so glad when we found a way to wear the ghost armor during a speedrun, because in the new game run of the game, you would mostly wear the Sakai armor, because you would have to do a lot more sword fighting battles. But
Yeah,
since you're
because we didn't
mostly
realize
using...
that power of terror.
Goro evade them all?
He has no choice.
Damn,
What will we
it's
do
been
if they
great.
catch
It
us
really
now?
has been.
Do
And
not
it's
fear
got
death,
actually
Kotaro.
one of the best color
Live with
schemes.
courage.
I will
Never
take the
forget the
time
people
to
you
switch
fight
it
to
over to
protect.
white every once in a while, just so it looks good.
Where is your bow?
I noticed you haven't. I mean, that's okay.
I mean, I
For
would.
photo mode purposes,
I would, but the problem is that whenever you start a new game plus, all your armor dies get reset to their initial values, so to speak. So you would have to go and switch out your armor dies every time you do a new run. And
I mean, 2 clicks is a lot to ask for, but
It's a
you're right.
time
Gotta go
loss.
fast.
It's a
We don't
time
have
loss.
time for fashion. This isn't Fashion Souls here. This is
exactly fashion ghosts.
Fashion Ghosts. There we go.
I mean, if they would just make it so that the die saves, you know, I would be totally for it. But it doesn't.
I'll be
so
completely
I don't.
honest. I am guilty of setting up the headpiece and the mask ahead of time, specifically because I wanted to look a certain way. Because those carry over. The headpiece and the mask carry
Yeah,
over.
they do. They do.
So I do. I like to set up my headpiece and mask to look a certain way, just for fun, just for funsies. Because why not?
Exactly.
I go a little Fashion Souls in this. So we are attacking Fort Mitadake, which is again being occupied by Mongols. Lord Shimura says, well, we need to face them head on. We can't just be sneaky. So, you know, go fight them with honor. And we are, kind of. We're throwing bombs at them. We have to be careful at this part here not to kill the guys up at the gate with an explosion or with fire. Because if you kill those guys closing the gate, it will actually bug the game out and you'll have to do this fight again. If you try to open the door too soon, it will bug the game out, and you will have to reload checkpoint and do the fight again.
As shown.
I didn't know that you did that, but based on your sigh, I knew what you did.
Forward,
It's
through that gate.
fantastic. There's a couple little glitches in here that if you don't do it right, it will cause some issues. At least you didn't have to fight. They're all here. Look at him, and look at that armor with those giant horns. He's got some nice horns on his
Okay.
armor.
There we go.
See how the enemy
Again,
hear you.
not necessarily here to show you all the right ways, merely trying to point out the wrong ways so you don't do this in your own playthrough.
Exactly. You know, we're just basically telling you the speedrun. What can go wrong? How you can do it better.
I mean, PB's already crashed thanks to tech issues, so we might as well show off all the errors. Any way that you can break the game. Let's do it. Let's do it. No, I don't think mods would be too happy with that. Organizers, what do you think? We break the game and go over by an hour? I think we'll be fine. So this is another part where, again, you are a great samurai. You are supposed to fight your way through this fort, but again,
Yep.
who really has time for that? We just run.
He just set his friend on fire. I love that. Clearly didn't get the Dosho notice.
Sure. Oh, never mind. No, he got the Dosho notice. I just watched it. He ducked down. He literally just shot him in the back. That was messed up. That's one of those ones where you go into battle with somebody you don't like. It's like, oh man, friendly fire. My bad.
Finally,
He ran right in front of me.
I finally have an opportunity to get rid of that dude.
Right?
He ate my soup. Nobody ate my soup.
He yelled Dasha. I mean, he told him to get down, and clearly he
Also,
didn't.
dogs are the worst enemies in this whole game. Like, you know, I love dogs. I have 2 dogs of my own. But these little Mongolian ankle biters can go straight to hell for all I care. Yeah, burn you, mother.
It is semi-gratifying when they get caught up in the
loving it.
in the huachas, because you get to hear them whine. I love it.
And burn.
So the dogs are the worst enemy in the game,
Excuse
just
me?
based off of the fact that they basically have an unavoidable attack, and once they lunge at you, you're screwed. And they bite onto you and they grab you for about 3 to 4 seconds, and it's unavoidable to be able to do anything else. And so if there's anyone else around, you're getting hit with things. I mean, he made it through the dogs and then got killed up on top of the platform, so it wasn't the dog's fault.
Well,
but,
normally
whatever.
that second archer flees when you kill the other, but for whatever reason that guy was just like, nope, I'm gonna stay and fight.
So this is another example of you are adapting to survive and your uncle doesn't like it. The huacha is a weapon of the enemy, and uncle really does not like that you are using it. But you're like, we have to get Goro through here. We have to. So I'm going to use it. You can just defend me. And so he does. Lord Shimura goes down and defends you, so he's not being the bad guy. But he really is quite quite displeased at you using a weapon of the enemy. Fear is a weapon of the enemy. We don't use that. Yada, yada, yada. Listen, guy. Survive. That's what you got to do. I'm no samurai expert, but I did watch a samurai expert talk about that aspect of this game, and he's like, no, it's war. You survive. That's what you do.
Yep.
So
Waiting
Ash
for the
knows where the
last
boats are
boat.
going to be
Ship's on the
spawning
way.
from, so he's just going to kind of prep it up, get everything set up
come
so he
on.
can kill them ahead of time. Hopefully, maybe not.
I missed one somehow.
Bring us the Shogun's
Oh
help.
well.
We did it.
Gonna be okay. Not by an entire hour. What about 55 minutes then?
All right, 59:30. That's my best offer. So, we did it. Hooray. One of the big points to take away from here, one of the big points is after you do all this, Uncle becomes super like, I have a good message for you. I have sent with my request to the Shogun a legal decree to adopt you. And so basically he wants to officially make you his son, which has a lot of implications. It has a lot of emotion. It has a lot for this game, and it will play a big part in the reason why you becoming the ghost is a very hard choice. And it's such a story. Oh my goodness.
But we get none of that because we skip all the cutscenes.
And does skip all the cutscenes. What's going on? I don't know. Who's the main bad guy? That ship. I don't know.
I mean, we've never seen him so far, right? Like, who even is
but
that dude?
He's Baba Yaga. And I don't mean the true Baba Yaga. I mean the John Wick Baba Yaga because, you know, I just wanted
Don't
to say
see
that.
him.
You don't see him. He's the boogeyman.
I mean, he's a big baba, definitely.
I'm coming for you, Ryozo.
So, once we get back to Lord Shimura's camp, the Khan has a plan with Ryozo's help that instead of trying to kill Jin, they're going to lure Jin into a base. This base here. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but things happen. So spoiler alerts.
It's pretty
this is
clear
very
that just
important.
trying to kill off Jin just doesn't work. You know, we've been cutting through so many Mongols and other people already that they are just like, nope, we cannot defeat him.
Yeah, even Jin or even Ryozo's like, my best men are no match for him. We can't kill him. And so what if we don't kill him? Is what he says during the cutscenes. What if we don't kill him? And then all of a sudden you get this notification of where he's at. So of course you've got to ride off to fight him, because why not? That's what you got to do. And look at how bright and sunny it is. It's beautiful.
And then it's nice.
The weather in this can change periodically, as you saw. It's quite lovely. It's not necessarily story driven, except for when it has to be. Anytime between the stories, it can be whatever weather it wants to be, which is pretty cool. So big ol' camp of Mongols, and here is Taka. Why is Taka here?
Creating a
He's
diversion.
not a fighter. Yeah. He wants to help. He wants to help. And so he calls the Mongols dogs.
We don't care though. We just waltz right in through the front gate of the fort here.
Look at that. Look at all those guys. We just, it's fine. Fine. We're important. We go full Karen on this one. We don't want to work with the peons. We want to speak directly to the manager. And so that's where we're going.
It's actually true. It's actually true.
I just came up with that. I think it's very fitting.
It is.
Another use of the smoke bomb takes us out of combat. We open up the door. This triggers the next scene where Ryozo's standing there. You have this little back and forth, and somebody sneaks up behind you and knocks you out, captures you and Taka.
And the nice thing about this scene is, if you listen closely, you can hear all the Mongols still yelling at us, because technically they are still in this fort because we didn't kill them. And so, yeah, enjoy this little audio glitch going on for the next few minutes.
Yeah, it lasts for way too long. So if you have a heart, if you have feels, look away. This part is very sad. Very sad. If you look on the ground, Taka is in two pieces now. Sadness. Oh well, we gotta keep going. So basically what happens here, the Khan comes out and he's like, hey, so I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your friends. And you're gonna have to stop fighting me, or all of your friends are going to die. And he starts with Taka. And Taka, he gives Taka the sword and he says, Taka, if you kill Jin, I will let you go free. Taka tries to be brave or stupid, one or the other, and turns against the Khan, and obviously quick defeated. And the Khan just lobs his head off. And then he lifts it up and he holds it against you and says, your friend died for you.
Ah, god damn it. I fell for the trap.
Did you do an air assassination?
Yes, I did.
Oh, shame on you.
This is why
So
we don't do
basically he tells
assassinations.
you that your friend died for you because you can't choose. So now he's going to get you another friend and let you choose again. So that's how he wants to defeat you. He's going to basically kill everybody in front of you and blame it on you because you're a terrible person.
Couldn't resist doing it.
That was
It was
just
just
a sinful move.
It was too juicy. Yeah.
But now you can do it. You can do it in the other fort, the cold weather fort, whatever that's called.
I could do that if I remember.
He wasn't supposed to be here.
That prop is
Why
just
didn't he listen?
so juicy, you know. You just want to do this assassination when it comes up because it's so nice and it's actually
Tempting.
quick. But then, you know, it does all this cutscene stuff and it's not fast anymore. It's just dumb. And you feel bad.
Dumb.
And oh well.
So Yuna lets out her biggest of no's. She's very sad her brother died. I mean, it makes sense. Her brother died.
Freaking dog.
Again, just another big battle. This one, unfortunately, based on how the Mongols attack, you want to spread out your bombing. You can't just blow them all up at once. Hitting explosive barrels, throwing the booms, and then going to the gate and trying to finish them off. You can get all of them. You can sometimes they don't run away. This is another RNG fight, unfortunately. Sort of understandable. No way. No way. So chat thinks it's understandable that that she's sad that her brother died. Relatable. We can all understand. I had a cat die once. Pretty broken up.
Yeah, but I don't think your cat was beheaded.
Listen,
was it?
you don't know my life, sir. Okay. All right, so we're sad. The horse knows we're sad. He gives us a little nudge, which is super cute. There's a lot of emotion in this game, even for the horse. I love it. This game is so great. So back to
Mongol still yelling.
back to the Yes. Back to the Lord Shimura's camp. Lord Shiro's camp. What the heck am I saying? Which one is it? Lord
Shimura.
Shimura. Thank you. Who is Lord Shiro?
I have no idea, dude.
I don't know who Lord Shiro is. Back to Lord Shimura's camp.
New
Now we are
character.
ready. New character.
Secret
New
unlockable.
canon.
Yeah.
There you go. DLCs. Now we get to actually go get everything ready for the main end of Act 2 big fight. There's still more to come after the big fight, but this is the big fight for Act 2. This is the battle of your army versus their army.
Because at the end of Act 1, if you remember, we rescued our uncle, Lord Shimura, and then the end of Act 2, we basically rescue his castle.
Hey.
Because it is the main Mongol stronghold on the island at the moment, and we want to take it back.
Mongol stronghold. Say that 5 times fast.
Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold, Mongol stronghold.
All right, so it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Nah. So we are being escorted up to talk to our uncle by other samurai.
But I trust them with my life.
And he's basically kind of like, hey, good for you for recruiting the Yarikawa people, but we need to put these ghost stories to bed. No more of that, please. No more of that. And we're like, but politics can wait. We still have to clear the island. So chill out, bro. Chill out. Don't come over here and start preaching to me. You come from the mainland where you've not been fighting. You come over here to Tsushima where I have been in the trenches, blood all the way up to my neck, and you're gonna tell me I can't do the ghost thing? You just sit down for a minute while I fight this, and then we'll talk about it later.
I mean,
that's just my opinion of how it
says
goes.
that in a little more tempered manner, you know, but it's basically the same.
Basically the same. I want to go like the genie in Aladdin. Did you looking at me? Did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? That's like, yeah. You see how we've already got a third of this island conquered or taken back? I did that. Sit down with your no ghost full crap. So once again, big fight. What do we do in big fights? We burn people. We blow them up. That's what we do. So this is the same kind of idea for everything else. Try to terrorize everybody, blow them up. Yay. This one is not as RNG, believe it or not, for as big and open as this area is. There's not really a whole lot of spawn points, and there's not a lot of enemy movement. They're all pretty nicely clustered up. So even though this is probably the biggest battlefield we fight on during the game, it's probably the most controlled out of all the big fights.
Everyone to the gates! Push through!
And look, there's Norio. I don't know why he's here. We never talked to him, but there he is.
He's just helping out. He's a friendly dude.
Forward! Show the Mongols.
So Norio, we never really talked about who he is. Norio is what's called a warrior monk. And his brother was the Guardian, basically the greatest warrior monk on the island. And Norio's story is basically revenge for his brother's death.
They
or
double
at
killed
least
me.
that's... What killed you?
They double killed me. First they hit me with
That's a shame.
a arrow, and then they just blasted me off.
Move to higher ground. Clear the way ahead.
Absolute bastards.
So Norio's story,
Is again sadness.
if I may spoiler for you, it's almost the same as Jin's story in a way. And there has been a discussion on one of the other runs where it's like Norio basically goes the same route that Jin goes, except he stops it before he goes too far. Jin gets consumed by the ghost. Jin becomes the ghost, and that's who he is. Norio, on the other hand, he reaches a point, he does a thing, and he's like, that's not me. That's not what I'm about. I'm gonna go pray somewhere. And so it's also a very, very good story.
I hate these archers sometimes.
Archers are bad. So Ash and I did a race against this, and I beat him in the race. And the reason why I beat him in the race was twofold. One, because he was playing on lethal and I was playing on easy. But two, because I had older, crummier hardware, My runs just could never catch up to him. Also, I'm a terrible runner. So in order to kind of offset it, every time he got hit, he would do 5 push-ups for every hit. He got a lot of push-ups in during this part.
Yep, I think it was about 100 or so.
I giggled. I thought it was funny. I won by default because I was about 20 minutes ahead of him by the time this got through, just because.
I mean, but you also gotta remember, I also had to do the whole 6 Days of Kojo quest as well.
Yes, yeah. I'm not talking about that. Listen, I beat you. That's all that that's the narrative that I tell. You tell the story when you're the commentator, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah, he had a good workout, but we never saw it because he decided he wanted to meme the heck out of everybody. So instead of, he had it originally noted that he was going to have a camera for showing his push-ups, but instead of that, he actually changed it up. Literally last second, didn't tell anybody. And the first couple times we saw it, we thought that he hit a wrong scene or something. And we're like, did you realize that? And afterwards, like, yeah, I knew what I was doing. I set that up. He had a lot of videos of him playing with his dog and other random stuff. Super cute.
You know, I just thought it would be pretty boring to just watch me do push-ups like over and over. So I can't.
I don't think he actually did them. I don't think he actually did them. I think that he switched over to that because he knew he couldn't do the push-ups.
What is wrong with these Mongols? They're all so spread out. Jesus Christ. Look at that.
They're not afraid of you right now.
I can't make him understand.
They should be.
We'll die if we don't change.
Your look at that for me is like, I don't know, 20 seconds ahead of me actually seeing it. So GG's, I guess. I didn't hear you sigh after death, so clearly you survived.
They are trying hard though. Not gonna lie.
So once we get through this part is, again, it's the main assault on what should be the end of the battle versus the Mongols. Lord Chimera has in mind that if we can take back Castle Chimera, then we will defeat the Mongols. And so that is our goal, that is our plan. And unfortunately, Lord Chimera is blinded by honor and one mission only of win. So he kind of leads his people into a very bad situation. Yeah. And this becomes basically the main point. Once again,
yeah, you can kind of see it here with the bridge blowing up with a lot of our forces on it.
The Mongols.
And yeah, this is basically the fallout between Jin and his uncle.
Oh goodness, I was muted. I muted myself when I was trying to say spoilers. Good stuff.
Lord Sakai.
How very kind of you. Yeah.
Right? I just wanted you to talk. I've been doing enough. So what happened there? Basically, all of the Mongols retreated across the bridge. Lord Chimera was like, kill! And sent his forces across the bridge. The Mongols backed up, they locked the gates, and so now your people are not trapped, but they don't really have anywhere else to go because they can't go forward. They then pack up a bunch of carts led by horses with explosives, cover them in kerosene, light them on fire, and send them across the bridge, and then blow them up. So basically your entire... It worked. So your entire half or 3/4 of your forces get wiped out. And Jin is like, they died because you couldn't see that it was a trap and you are too led by honor and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so Jin has a fallout with his uncle because he's like, they died because of you. Their blood is on your hands. And he's like, they died for Tsushima. It's fine. Whatever.
Got the gods quietly.
Like, didn't care. Didn't care.
And that doesn't sit right with Jin. Not at all.
Nope. So Yuna basically tells Jin, hey, we've got to do something or else all these people are going to die and we're not going to achieve our goal. Lord Chimera is waiting until morning to attack again. He's got people trying to fix the gate under heavy fire, which is not
That was clear.
the best thing to do, but I mean, it's happening. So instead, you decide, I'm going to cross the bridge and I'm going to poison everybody because poison is good.
You know, we got
So
that
we
from
sneak
Yuriko.
in. Yeah, we're great.
Of course
So
he's-
poison is good. We're amazing.
preparing
We
a feast.
sneak into the
Keep
Mongol
poison the
camp,
Khan's
and now we have to
fermented milk.
find where we're going to poison.
Let his army drink
We
it.
determined that we are going to poison the Arig. I want to make Arig one day.
What if I
I
defeat
really do. It's fermented milk, and I make mead. I'm not going to say I'm going to enjoy it, but I would like to make it sometime.
Definitely tastes interesting, I guess.
Gotta try it. So we decide we're gonna poison the mead, the Arig. The fastest way to get it in there is to go through the
poison the mead.
garden path. That's what we're doing. Don't poison the mead. I drink enough of that. I don't need that poison. No, thank you.
But maybe you can build up a tolerance to it, you know, by drinking all the
Listen.
poison meat.
Listen,
Now
which
reach
cup
their
is
feast.
poisoned? You choose, and we both drink. Okay?
Depends on the poison, I guess.
It's iocane. I bet my
Yeah.
life on it.
Oh, jeez. Maybe not.
So
what
there's a
it's
couple
starting
ways that you can go about this. You're supposed to sneak. Sneaky, right? Nope. Tumbleweed Samurai plays his best part. You want to not engage these enemies at all. You roll right up to the bags of fermented milk. If you're seen, you can just throw a smoke bomb and you're good. Everything's fine. If you're not seen, you get through it without a problem. So you poison both bags of Arik, which apparently is enough to wipe out
Kill an enemy. Army.
yeah, wipe out the camp. And so this part is kind of fun. You get to watch the Mongols choke. Again, Jin's opinion, not mine. And then once again, we face our friend
Buddy!
again.
Group hugs.
Again.
We're reunited. We love each other so much.
He is a good guy. So the idea for this part here is Ryozo screwed up. He screwed up big time, and you didn't see it, but after the end of Act 1, Ryozo can be seen with the Khan at the gates of Castle Shimura. And they're demanding that they open the gates. And the Khan basically tells Ryozo that he's got to earn what was promised to him, which is food for his men. That's why he's doing it. And so Ryozo burns his people alive. And in my opinion, that's the you can't go back from that.
I mean, you know,
You've
he
crossed that line.
was so hungry, he started roasting people.
There you go. Cannibalism is okay. It worked for the Donner Party. It can work for the samurai. So basically, when you get to this part, he stays behind to collect your head per the Khan, and he tries to tell you, hey, instead of killing me, why don't you tell them that I was your mole, that I was trying to gain the Khan's trust, and I was your inside man? And you're like,
Nope.
not gonna happen. You need to surrender and answer for your crimes. He's like, well, we fighting then, because it worked out so well for him the first time.
You kill him. For good this time. And Ryozo
Yeah,
is
he
gone. But more importantly, after that, well, your uncle comes in and sees what you have done with the Mongols. You know, all this poisoning stuff and terror and whatnot, and he's not too happy with that. So the both of you have, well, basically a fallout, total breakup. And
Total breakup. The bromance is over.
Yeah, he takes you prisoner. And that is why we now have to escape the samurai.
He does. He tries to get you to turn on Yuna. He says, tell them that Yuna corrupted you, that this was all her doing. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am the ghost. I have done this. And he's like, you are my son. And he says,
I'm not your son.
I am not your son. And then he burns the adoption papers, and he's sad. He's very sad. And then you're imprisoned, and you're sad.
Sakai escaped!
You wanted to actually stay in prison because you're setting an example for your people that you need to answer for what you've done. But then Kenji comes in and he's like, so Yuna is tracking the Khan and he's going to get away if you don't do something. So you decide, all right, fine, I'm going to break out, because if not, you're just going to be shipped back to the mainland and get killed anyway. So there you go. Once again, sad times to be had here. Your best friend in the whole wide world, the horse that you've known for all of this whole game, he takes a couple arrows to the butt.
Yep, and dies.
So don't
F
get
in
too
chat
attached to your
for the
horse. don't get too attached to your horse, because he ain't gonna last. He ain't gonna last. And it truly is sad when you play this game for, like me, I was well over 40 plus hours when I got to this point. I was attached to my horse. This hit me harder than Taka. I was like, Taka, whatever.
I mean,
horse, no!
That cutscene of the horse slowly dying is just really heartbreaking. And, you know, the fact that in the beginning we didn't have New Game Plus, we had only the New Game speedrun, and you have to watch all the cutscenes. So you had to watch the scene of the horse dying every time you speedrun the game.
My heart hurt so much. So this is another sneaky section where you're supposed to avoid Mongol detection because you have no weapons, no armor. But
we just have mud on our body.
You have mud. I am a tumbleweed. You do not see me. I am nothing. So tumbleweed samurai your way right through. Get to the giant tree that is just freaking massive and on fire. And you're looking for Yuna because she's supposed to be here.
He's not here.
And you could explain what happens next because I don't want to explain it in the delay.
Well, you know, we look at all these people, and then we get poisoned ourselves by a poison arrow, and we are literally vomiting blood at the moment. Doesn't stop us from just, you know, rolling around though. We could still do that. I know, no big deal.
Yeah.
Vomiting blood, rolling around, doesn't stop us.
I mean, and look at where he gets shot too. I think that's a liver or a kidney. It's probably a kidney.
Not a good,
gotta hurt.
Not a good place, definitely. Not a good place.
No.
You don't want to get shot there. I mean, you don't want to get shot at all, but especially not there.
So
hurts.
You've came to the realization that the Mongols have figured out your poison, or at least the ingredient for it, not necessarily the doses. I don't kind of understand how it is that arrow doesn't kill you. Again, plot armor is a beautiful piece of armor.
I mean, you've actually raised a pretty good point that the Mongols are still trying out the poison and they don't know the dosage yet, so I guess that would make sense why you're not dying from it. Because
I guess it would.
Maybe the dosage wasn't right and it was too small to kill a man because they're still figuring stuff out. I mean, that would make sense.
So somehow, after you fight Ryozo and you give Yuna your sword, that's all you hand her is your sword, and you say run, or else they're going to capture you. Somehow she still manages to obtain all of your armor, all of your weapons, all of your tools, everything that you had before you got captured. She managed to store neatly in a nice little box just waiting for you. Thank you, Yuna.
We can fix
also, what you probably have to mention is that the point in time between killing Ryozo and us escaping is like weeks. So a lot of time has passed actually in game.
Maybe she snuck in a lot. She snuck in a whole lot.
Yeah, maybe.
These will have to do.
Or just Kenji took it piece by piece out of the castle.
Right? Just one little piece at a time in his sake cart.
Yeah.
So you get on a new horse. Yay, new horse. This isn't your permanent horse. This is just a temporary horse.
Thank
Don't
God.
get attached to this one. He is ugly. Look at him.
He
He's
is.
just a dumb horse. Just a dumb horse.
It's
It's really kind of sad that your horse dies. Because for New Game Plus, you actually get a new horse and some really nice riding gear. But then he dies. So they're like, well, no, you don't get that horse anymore. So it's like, but he had the beautiful black mane with the red tips. He was.
It's an awesome looking horse.
He wanted me to be his son.
But now it's gone. Forever. Or until the next speedrun, you know, whatever it is. Also, interesting fact, the sun is slowly starting to come up because as you can see outside the window, things are lighting up there.
Pretty nice. I've not gone unnoticed with that. There's a house behind you.
Yeah, there's another house there, yeah, exactly.
You don't live all by yourself in a secluded wood somewhere.
No.
I think I've only ever seen you play in the dark. I did not realize that was a window. I thought it was just a really crummy mirror.
I made my own choices.
No, it is a window. I mean, why would I have a mirror like right next to my face? I'm not
Listen,
that
vanity
vain.
is the crazy thing, okay?
Yeah, but I'm not that Wayne. Not yet.
I'm not judging you. You live your life. Just don't worry about it. All right? By the way, this is Act 3. We didn't get into that. This is Act 3, which is by far the shortest act of all.
Yes.
As you can tell, the estimate is 3 hours and 30 minutes. We're not going to come anywhere near that. And we're already at 2:45, so It's not a very long act when you consider the first act is nearly an hour and a half. This one is like 45 minutes. It's quick.
Yeah, I'm close
Because
to 40,
this is
but
very
yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah, we have about 40 minutes left in this game.
Well, listen, you run at your pace, I run at my pace, okay? You calm it down.
Let's go.
I still haven't passed you. I am world record holder on New Game Plus Easy Act 1, so I'm going to hold that one for you. But now you're in territories that I can't touch on, so we're good. Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I do have one record, the only one. Ash holds records on so many categories. When we were still a small community, he literally had it for every category. I've got one now, so there's that. And until when I first started running this game, I was like one of 2 easy runners, and I had a really good time. And I knew that his time was a lot better than mine, so I said in a couple of my runs, I really hope that the lethal runners don't come down to easy, because then I'm screwed. And then they came down to easy, and I got screwed, and I wasn't record holder anymore, and it made me sad. And then he comes up and he's like, oh, by the way, I got accepted into a marathon with this run. Do you want to commentate? I'm like, yeah, just rub the salt right up in there. That's fine. Whatever.
I mean, you're still here commentating.
I'm a glutton for punishment. What can I say?
I see. I see. So it's not friendship. It's just punishment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
So the
I
Mongols
guess,
had this alert system. There was a little fishing village. There's a pagoda over there. If the fishing village gets attacked, you shoot off these alarms. Well, we're gonna shoot them off ourselves, so the Mongols come to
and
us.
now for our weekly, collaboration of Mongols on ice with explosive barrels.
They were nice enough to leave explosive barrels all over the ice.
Idiots.
It's very kind of them. Their organizational skills is a little bit laxing, but we appreciate it nonetheless. Their exterior design needs some work, but thankfully we use it to our advantage. But look at all those people that fall down and run away. That right there is the best example of showing of the fear effect. All those people that you could physically see crumpling over backwards because it was such a big open area. That's why we have the build we have. Beautiful. So are you sneaking in, or are you going straight in the front door?
Front door.
Yay! So you can sneak around to the back. They want you to sneak around the back because then you can slaughter the main commander and do the whole ghost stance thing. But no, thanks to fear, we just go right in the front door, kill everybody. We're faster this way. Much faster. Look at that. He hit him right on the head with the bomb. You can't orchestrate stuff better than that. I love it. Now, granted, he can't find his last guy, but he tried. He tried hard.
The fucking archer in the back didn't run away.
Neither did the commander. So
didn't
once
find
you
the
kill
commander as
everybody
well.
in here, you can you rescue the prisoners, and now the pagoda, the Jogaku
Pagoda,
yeah, that's what it's called, is now your base of operations. This is where you do everything out of for the entirety of the third act, which actually has a lot of stuff that you can do casually, but 3 missions. It's got 3 missions. You recruit one guy, you do the uncle thing, and you do the 1.5 minute mission. That's it. Then it's game over. You go
That's
finish
pretty
everything
short,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
hope it helps.
we have been tasked to go find Yuna's friend, who is
Just for you.
ex-love interest, maybe?
Yep.
They don't really get into it, but either way,
Yeah,
Jen
but
gets a little bit jelly.
it's heavily insinuated that they had things going on.
Yeah. And Yuna's over it. Jin's a little bit sad. He's like, hey, wait a minute. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? You knew somebody before me? How dare you? It's crazy. So you got to go find this wonderful guy. He is a
Hunter,
quote unquote. And he's up in this little camp that overlooks a fort that you've got to use to get through all of your allies up to this section, because they can't go through Castle Chimera because they're kind of blocked off there.
I mean, we're outlaws by this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Although Lord, our Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Adachi hasn't done anything yet, but they still want to support you, so they can't just like travel through there and be like, we're gonna go travel north just for fun. So you do kind of have to smuggle them over here.
Should destroy the siege weapon.
So this, don't forget, you have done the air assassination, so you can do that now if you want. You can air assassinate and slaughter that general.
I mean, slaughter
Finish him quickly.
You can slaughter him every time. That's not the problem. It's just really the air assassination against a single enemy that triggers that. Slaughter is fine.
So yeah, this is another long ride. Not really a whole lot to talk about here, other than for some reason, video game logic. As you can tell, we're in the third area, which is the furthest north part of the island, and so clearly, because it's north, it has to be snow. Has to be.
I mean, it's also pretty hard to navigate the first time you are here and doing the speedrun if you don't know the routes by heart yet, because there aren't a lot of clear visual indicators here telling you where to go, because it's all just white and white with the occasional red bush like here. So, welcome to Takashi's castle. Well, it's his camp, but it's also a castle, isn't it? Everybody knows Takashi's castle.
Man's castle is his home, right?
Exactly.
So it could be.
You're welcome at
So-
our campfire, my lord.
Yeah, as he was saying, this is not an easy place to navigate your first time. You can get lost, but
This won't
we've
be
done
a
it enough. We know where we're going, and we've got
Come over
specific
here,
things that we look for. So Takashi is going to basically talk about this fort. He's going to be like, "Hey, this is the fort. We need to get in there." And you're like, "Can you help us?" And he says,
Mongol archers got the
"Well,
gate.
"Why?" Is it because it's really cold up here, and you need a place to stay, right? Oh, and by the way, Yuna's going to be there. Yuna's going to be there? Of course, I'm in. Let's do this.
Which is actually pretty funny, because when we meet Yuna at the end of this quest, Jin is all like, "Hey, I think Takeshi is really looking forward to seeing you," and she's all like, "Yeah, he's seen me. We can go."
She's done with him.
Yep.
And as you're well aware, the fastest way to get down a mountain, jump. I used to
Jump and
ride
roll.
my horse down that until Ash showed me the error of my ways. As long as you jump and you roll right as you hit the ground, you take no damage. So you just jump down those 3 really long drops and call your horse, and you're good.
Try it in real life. It works.
That's probably why he
Don't.
survived getting thrown off the roof or off the bridge. He rolled.
Yeah, but you just can't roll off the surface of the water now, can you? I mean...
He rolled.
Yeah, but you would have to hit the bottom of the ocean for that, and I don't know, man. That looks like a
throwing pretty hard.
long way down.
Holy
Holy crap. Also, just in case you're wondering why I'm wearing the Mongol commander's armor here, when I did the fast travel before I equipped this armor, I saw that there was a patrol like right in my way, and I have never found a way to circumvent that patrol when it was there, and they always shoot me down from my horse. So I just made it a habit of, if I see that patrol, I will just equip this armor until I am at the next fort here, and then I will switch back, because it's way less of a time loss to switch out the armor than, you know, getting thrown off your horse and having to run on foot.
On foot. Nobody wants to be on foot.
Yeah,
That's
it's
too slow.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when you get knocked off your horse, Ash is so great. He's not demonstrated this one yet. I kind of wish he would have. But
can go
if you get knocked off your horse,
Back away from
your
the
horse
edge.
will run from you while you're still in combat. So you either have to kill everybody or run far enough away that everyone de-aggroes before you can get back on your horse again. Because most oftentimes she'll just be like, "Nope, I'm out. See you later." So if you get knocked off your horse, it is a significant time loss if you've got to go by foot.
Yeah.
Everyone else get to
You're
the
not the
ridge.
Flintstones. You're not traveling by
The
feet.
enemy sees me.
Move on.
Understood. Good luck.
So this is another big fight area. Kind of. It's supposed to be a big fight area. With booms, it kind of becomes less of a big fight area. So what he wants to do is wait until this convoy gets to a certain point, and then he booms them, and then he drops down and kills the commander, and everything is great. It's fantastic. Look at that destruction. So much destruction.
Why is that guy over there? What are you doing here, dude?
This is an
Holy
RNG
crap.
spot, of course, as he's yelling about. Different Mongols can spawn in different areas and just kind of hang out. As this one was behind a rock.
He was so far away. I've never seen that.
What sort of animals?
They also like to hide on the top ledges of this
Take
part
cover
right up here
from
where
the
he's
archers.
standing. Yeah.
I mean, it's smart
So
of them, but it's just aggravating for the speedrun.
They need to understand we're doing a speed run and they need to die quickly.
Mm-hmm.
The longer they stay alive, the more they inconvenience us. And that is not what we want here. So this part, again, wait until they get to a certain spot, blow them up. That's kind of the motto of this game. Once you get black powder bombs,
Yeah, like
wait until they get to a spot, blow them
like
up.
we said in the beginning, channel your inner Michael Bay.
Indeed. Ash Bay.
We have to get over there.
I
Let's get a
like
look at the
that.
bridge.
I'll be surprised if you don't use it. I like it.
The Ash Bay.
I like it. Ash Bay.
Bay Ash.
So we've basically we were talking to Takashi and he says, I figured it out, you're the ghost, but you're not 10 foot tall. And you're like, well, shut up, it's fine. We got to do this. Yuna and your friends, basically, they don't wait for your signal like they were supposed to, so they start assaulting the other side of the fort. You have the choice of either, again, charging in here headlong or going around sneaky. It's definitely faster to go around or to charge
Charging in.
straight in and make everyone go boom. And look at that. Another big group of enemies dead with some bombs. These guys here that he just passed don't matter once you get to the next trigger point. They basically despawn. You don't have to worry about fighting them. And if you reset at this trigger point. So
is ours, my lord.
there's no reason to fight those guys. Just a waste of time. Move on. Kill more people.
Is everyone all right?
And this is where Kenji actually shows up and fights, which is pretty cool. Kind of. He's
Kind of.
here, anyways. And he's like, keep them
running
away
around
from me.
yelling at people, probably just, you know, having his pan in his hand and bonking people on the head or something. I don't know.
Listen, I've played PUBG. The pan is where it's at.
Maybe he throws
They got-
sake bottles for the other guys to light up. I don't know.
You
Like
go,
a
here,
s-
get
like-
drunk.
Like a sake cocktail that you light on fire.
There you go. Ooh, yes. It's not a Molotov cocktail. It's a Kenji cocktail.
Yeah.
Do you know where the name Molotov cocktail came from?
Actually, no. Do
I
you want to
do.
enlighten us?
So Molotov cocktail, there was I can't remember specifically the battle or the war, as it were, but this general's name was Molotov, and he was dropping bombs on people.
Mhm.
But he said they were actually care packages, and so they became Molotov's breads or Molotov's rations or something like that.
I see.
And so then it became instead of a dropping bomb, it became the bottle that explodes. And because it was liquid, they decided to name it Molotov's cocktail. So
Attack it. Just
you got Molotov's bread and Molotov's cocktail.
Makes
Pretty
sense.
interesting.
These flowers.
I learned things the other day. Thought it was interesting.
Why the hell were you researching that?
Holy cow, that horse jumped. I wasn't researching it. I just watch a lot of random things on YouTube.
Couldn't have known.
I see.
So this is the other part where Yuna straight up tells you can't go straight in the front, and we're gonna say Tumbleweed
Yes,
Samurai
we
can go straight in the front.
Yes, we can.
We can't get in the front, but we could climb.
Also, Yuna's kind of talking to you about, are you sure it was a good idea to have the poison because now the Mongols have it? And you're just like, no. You have the option of saying it was a necessary thing or you regret it. It doesn't really matter which way you go with it.
It actually never matters. Like, there's only one point in the prologue of the game that we actually skip because we're playing a New Game Plus, where it doesn't matter what you say, just because the corresponding dialogue is shorter. But other than that, it never matters which conversation option you pick at any point.
Which is a little sad. It'd be nice if
Time-wise.
there were consequences for
Time-wise.
it.
And story-wise as well.
This is the shortest mission of the game.
Mhm.
Now that you can
Over here.
straight roll your way right through, go right to the lighthouse. This is the only other one where you're surveying that you can skip one of the survey spots, which is the one
Yeah.
right in the middle. And then that's it. This mission's over. Really quick, painless. It's quite lovely.
Takes about 3 minutes, so yeah, it's over in the blink of an eye, basically.
Two open.
By the way, I like their
Good place
boat.
for
That
an
is a big
ambush.
boat. Huge boat. You're going to see that boat later.
Do you like big boats?
The Mongol fleet.
I cannot lie about that fact.
Alright, we could like big boats, confirmed.
So, as you notice, basically he scouted the whole area. Fisherman's camp. That's where at the headmaster's house. That's where he's going to be at. There's a storm coming. There's a ambush point, and then there's a spot that we can set up watches. So there you go. We know this is where our final confrontation is going to be. So what do we got to do now? Well, we need to go get Lord Shimura involved. We can't just stroll right on in the back door. I can't say front door because we left out the back door. We can't just stroll right on in the back door and say, hey, uncle, we want to go play. You're an outlaw. So you discuss with Yuna that you need to basically recruit your uncle without being seen. So the next mission is to sneak back into Castle Shimura and leave a lovely note on his pillow saying, hey, we know where the Khan's at. We're going to attack when it's a storm coming, and you'd better be there, or else you're a coward and a loser and a snake, and I've never loved you. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked.
I don't think Jin wrote that. He's still way too kind to his uncle.
He is way too kind.
I mean, maybe he wrote that, but he definitely crossed it out before sending the letter.
Yeah, he scratched it out. Did the samurai have whiteout? He might have.
I don't think so. I think they probably just had to write the whole message again.
And this is where you get your new horse. If you want the new horse. New horse. This horse is still ugly. Nobody likes this horse. I want my old horse back with the red mane, the sexy horse.
Trusty companion.
This horse is
Sexy horse. Okay.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't call a horse sexy, but it's a nice horse. Nice horse.
Sending some
Even as a
questionable vibes here.
I didn't judge you. You don't judge me. We all live our own lives, okay?
Okay. Maybe a little bit of slight judging going on. Maybe. Maybe a little bit.
So you have to wait for this
Sexy
conversation
horse.
to end, which is why he just sat there and did circles. You can't fast travel until that's over. But once that's over, we fast travel to a spot that for some reason is always tagged. We never tagged it.
Yep.
I don't know why it's there.
It's just there. I mean, it's convenience. It's good for us. You can just fast travel there, and you're immediately in front of the castle, which you have to sneak in again. Now, if you remember, we attacked the castle. We snuck out of the castle. Now we're sneaking back into the castle. So there's a lot going on with Castle Shimura.
I just lost you on comms, buddy.
You did? Why? Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Ash, can you hear me?
I can hear
You
you.
might have lost Ash on comms. I see myself lighting up, but I don't see him lighting up. So
How did I do
if
that?
you guys can hear me, but not him, I'll explain what's going on. So we have to sneak into the castle.
last time.
We have the determination that if we fight anybody, then we are the monster that they say we are. So
What's that?
there, you're back.
Yeah, okay, but why did he didn't jump? He just ran straight into the castle.
Good, that was a nice time to come back.
Yeah. All it took was a death.
So by the way, that little thing that I was about to get to before he died, Ash did a quick little dance of wrath to get across the water quicker. If you are just on the edge of water, but you're not into it where you're swimming, and you do dance of wrath, you'll basically skip across the water and get significant distance, and that saves a couple seconds if you do it right the first time.
Yeah. It's not a major time save, but it looks kind of cool. Shows off some tech. So why the hell not do it?
So he's sneaking in here, couple rolls past the bad guys, and he's gonna jump back into the water. Again, you're going underneath the bridge like you went under before, kind of weird. Again, reusing the same assets. That's how you save money. I die a lot on this part, so I've slowed this part down a whole lot to make sure that I don't die here. Because for some reason, I can't figure out how to jump to these ledges properly. I don't know why.
It's a combination between camera movement and actual movement.
And then just raw skill, or lack thereof.
Maybe.
So once again, we go the exact same route we came in. We go to the exact same tower that we started in, but instead of actually climbing up the inside of the tower and killing everybody to get through it, we're going to take a little bit of an alternate route because we don't want to go in there. If you do go in there, you have to wait until the sentry inside turns around and he's not looking, and then you go out the door, and it just takes too long. So over the top we go, and
Using a rock.
sneak on past these guys with the beauty of Tumbleweed Samurai. Go right into the side entrance here, and again, one man can fully infiltrate a castle. So the Khan is kind of fallen short on his on his invasion plan because he doesn't know all the secrets. After you get inside the castle, even though you're not supposed to be seen, it's supposed to end you if you get seen, but for some reason they never programmed that part, so you can just run straight through it.
They
As long as you're inside the castle.
Once Lord Shimura is inside the castle, because at the moment where we are inside the castle, he's still at the outside, talking to his troops, delivering his speech.
That's true, yes.
But once he enters the castle, these samurai will actually call for help and give you a game over if they see you. But, however, as long as Lord Shimura is still outside, no consequence of getting seen. So, yeah, just do it.
And he gives a great speech about how, they're gonna win the war and everyone is great. And then when he walks in, the first thing he's like, "Damn you, Jin! You were supposed to be here with me with this." Like he knew you were there and he wanted you to hear it. That's my belief.
And sense the ghost.
This is it. We've recruited everybody.
Yep.
We've prepped everything.
Yep.
We are on the final mission
What took you so
against the Khan.
Yep.
And this has my favorite tree in the entire mission. My favorite tree in the entire mission. When we get to it, I'm going to point it out. I point it out every run. It's so fantastic.
Favorite tree.
Favorite tree.
Yeah. I remember.
So right before this mission, Yuna has to walk all the way from the bottom of the fishing area, all the way up to the pagoda, around the pagoda, and back down to where the swordsmith is at. And it takes her forever. However, normally if you open up menus or if you talk to people, it stops an NPC's action. That doesn't happen with Yuna at this time. So this is the perfect opportunity to buy all the gear that you need. There's even a gift altar up at the top that you can raid and then sell everything and buy everything. You've got so much time. So much time. Because you just gotta wait for Yuna to get there.
So yeah, basically we get another short break here. Where you can stretch, grab a drink, or whatever you need to do before the big battle in Port Izumi.
It's very important because this is the big battle. This is the one. This is you versus Khan. Jin versus Kublai. No.
Khotun.
Who did he say?
Khotun Khan.
Khotun. Yeah, Khotun.
Khotun Khan.
Khotun Khan. Cousin of Kublai. Grandson of Genghis. So the actual Mongol invasion was led by Kublai Khan, not Khotun Khan. Khotun Khan, I don't think is a person.
Yeah, I think they made him up.
I don't believe Khotun Khan is real.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he isn't real, yeah. Come on, Yuna.
Go! Look at her go! This is another opportunity where you're supposed to talk to your allies, get some insightful things, the nonsensical stuff that, if you were casually playing, would be awesome to know about. Again, this story is great. If you haven't played it casually, play it. Great. It is amazing. It is wonderful. It will knock your socks all the way off. It doesn't even matter if you're wearing long socks with the clips on them that clip to your belt for some reason. It will knock those off. It will find a way. It will unsnap them and knock them off.
Who clips socks to the belt?
Have you never seen? Maybe they're clipped to like a little strap around their thigh. I don't know. It's just bear with me here, okay? Socks that are hard to get off will still be knocked off, okay? Jesus.
Gotcha.
You gotta analyze everything I say. I'm not commentating for you anymore. It's been 3 hours and now you're gonna make me cry.
Alright. Big battle.
Yeah, focus, friend. No deaths here.
Nah, I got bombs. I don't have to focus. Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, sorry. You got bombs. You don't need friends. You don't need focus.
See? They even get blown up by themselves. I don't even have to do anything. Other people have started to learn the way of the bomb.
So like, all right, let's just blow each other up. We don't need to waste time. This is about the only time they understand that you are in a speed run and they want to play nicely with you. So this part here, the enemies can actually trigger in 2 different locations to spawn. So if you're not standing in the right spot, they will actually spawn behind where he is standing now, as opposed to on that ramp coming down. And it becomes a bit of a nuisance because you don't have the barrel there to explode. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward fight. There's a couple red barrels here and there. Blow everybody up. Same thing. This game became really trivial when we learned how effective terror and explosions were. It really did. And this is something that you can't necessarily do on New Game because the ghost armor you get standard, but all the extra charms you don't. You have to do side missions and shrines and things like that to get. So whereas you could ghost armor this part to make it a little bit better, the likelihood of enemies running is so much more minuscule that we have totally different fighting techniques for New Game.
Also on New Game you have a lot less of all your tools. Like you don't have any explosive arrows, you don't have the fire arrows, you have very little of the bombs. So most of the strategies that we actually use here are just not, you can't just use those.
You have hardly any resolve or health. And now coming up right here, look over to your right, it's the shaking dancing tree. It is my favorite tree in the entire game. If they ever fix that loading error, I will be so sad. It's my favorite tree. I love it.
I just killed that guy with an assassination because I needed a bit of resolve because I got poisoned twice that I had to heal. So I'm actually a little bit low on resolve, but should be fine.
That tree only shakes on Ash's screen. It doesn't shake on mine. Not because I'm better or anything like that, but just because I use a different route, so it loads differently on mine. So I never get to see it when I do a run, but I do get to see it when Ash runs, so it's my favorite thing. So Ash just changed over to different armor. It's not Ghost armor, and it's not the Sakai armor. He actually switched over to Ghost Soku's armor,
it's Khotun,
which
the
is
big bad. You finally see
yeah,
him.
it's an armor that you get for a. That's the one that you get from the fishing villages, isn't it?
Yeah,
You have
that's a
to
very long
defeat-
quest line.
Yeah, you have to liberate, like, goodness gracious, 6 different farms and then go find it. And the reason he switches over to this one and he sets his charms up as well is because this one has a huge stagger bonus. And Khotun he's a brute. He doesn't stagger easily. He doesn't care. So if you use the proper stance and you have this armor, he becomes a lot easier. Not easy, but easier. Because he can get staggered a lot easier. So this is the only time that we use this armor is during Khotun's fight. And one thing we didn't talk about was the charms loadout. We've talked about, we have charms that do this, we have charms that do that. It is actually a special setting that you have to go to and set up in the game before you start the game, or I guess you can really do it during the game. But it's called Enable Armor Loadout. And enabling armor loadout allows you to basically set specific charms to specific armor slots. So if you change your armor, the charms don't change with it. Whereas in a casual playthrough, if you never set that up, and this could be good for you there, Mod, who is doing this casual, you may want to keep your exploration charms and things like that. But in our playthrough, we want specific effects on specific armor. So we enable that armor loadout so we know that when we switch gear, it's going to have a very specific set of charms so we don't have to go in and manually adjust that every time. So the attack here is very basic. He's taking care of the bad guys on with explosives and things like that on the sides just to kind of relieve his pressure. he wants to attack with, he's got the ghost dance. If he's got it, use it, great. Other than that, he is using kunais to stagger, and then he's attacking, and he's using a kunai to stagger, and he's attacking. And basically, he's kind of stun locking Khotun. Not super stun lock. I mean, you can still get busted out of it, but if you do it right and fast enough, he'll completely stun lock him.
Yeah, that fight was pretty much as good as it could have been.
That was. So, Khotun's dead. He ran him through, stuck him to the
Mass.
Still here.
yeah, to the mast. So
When
what's
they're
left?
gone, what happens
Not a
then?
whole
We
lot.
start new
Not a whole
lives.
lot. This is
I
the
used
end
to
of the
know
game.
them.
So,
Now I'm not even sure who I
moderators, if
am.
you guys want to start
hope
getting
to
the
our
next
people.
person ready,
Fear to the
we've got
Mongols.
about
And be hunted
6
by
10
the
minutes left of the game.
Anyone
Yeah.
sees a
Six.
sunrise mind, it's you.
There's only one thing left, and I'm going to give a big spoiler here just because I want to, and I want to start seeing people in chat making the decision for us. If you're listening to what Yuna's saying, Yuna is saying that your uncle wants to talk to you. Well, since we've still got 5 minutes and we've got to talk to our uncle, clearly it's not over yet. And we already had a falling out, so we know what's coming. Who's the true final boss? We get to go and have a standoff against Uncle, which is great because you actually, it comes full circle. Because during the prologue, Uncle teaches you how to fight. So it ends with you sparring against Uncle. So it's really quite fitting. I like it. I like how it comes around.
Yep.
So you have the option. You have the option of either saving Uncle, sparing his life, or killing him. If you want to put it in chat, what you would like to see, I'm going to just go ahead and say that Ash has to do it. Whatever the highest one is, I'll keep track of it. Ash has to do it. I didn't tell him I was doing this ahead of time, so he's by no means bound to this other than, you know, streamers.
That's okay. That's okay.
Streamers promise. I'm making him do it. But yes, you have until the end of the fight, so about 4 minutes to decide. It's not going to change much, but if the moderators say we have time, maybe we can watch the final video. The final video does change based on the choice you make.
It's
and
less than a minute,
super awesome.
so we will still be underestimate.
All right, so we got one for kill. So there's that. It's good enough for me.
One vote.
So one of the secret, one of the secret things that they don't really tell you about this, they change you into the Ronin armor, but you actually keep your loadout for the previous gear that you had. So we are set up with the best gear for this fight based on the Khotun fight before we fought it.
It's actually a
so
thing
we are-
that happens on other points during the run as well. Like when you get the Sakai armor during Ghosts from the Past, whatever charm loadout you had equipped before you put on the armor for story reasons will be, you know, kept over to the Sakai armor. So this can actually change around, and that is actually while we are wearing the Sakai armor during the whole Ghosts from the Past quest, because for one, we already have it equipped when we start the quest because we just came out of the General Temugi duel. But then, you know, it basically overwrites itself with itself. So, you know, we just keep the same charm loadout, which is pretty nice. Also, mesh buttons, goddammit.
We help this merchant out, and he's like, I got a load of goods going to Jogaku Pagoda for the ghost. And Lord Shimura, even though knowing that's a bad thing, he's like, well, on your way then. Best of luck to you. And now you got to talk to Shimura. You're like, I don't have an army. I don't know what's going on. And he's like, shut up. Just follow me. He's a little bit nicer about it. He's just like, not here. Come. And so during this walk, basically, he's talking to you about how you have dishonored him. You've disgraced him. The Shogun wants a head. I mean, you got to answer for what you've done. And Jin is not really defending what he's done as an "I'm sorry" sort of thing. He's more of a
Family cemetery.
I mean, he likes his
this
head.
needed to
He
be
wants to keep his
yeah,
head.
but
So,
but he's like, this needed to happen.
yeah.
Like, this needs to happen. We needed to survive, and this is how we survived. And he says, but when the other samurai come here, will the people bow to their leaders? Because you showed them that you can defy the leaders. And he's like, I won't let them. And they said, yeah, they're not going to listen to you. So, yeah,
Yep. It's a bit of a
you've lost.
It's a bit of a catch-22 here.
Yeah, you've shown them that you can defy your leaders. So why would they listen to you? So, I mean, I understand where they're coming from. The honor thing is very, very important in samurai culture, so I get the idea. But it's still kind of one of those things.
They are bound and chained to it. But yeah, we got one more haiku done, and then it is time for our last duel. And since I only have 6 resolve, I can use Dance of Wrath twice, which means I will have to do the first and second phase of the fight normally. So we actually get to see a little bit more of the sword fighting combat in this.
And so far, we've got 1 vote for kill. My vote's for kill as well. And that's actually, in my opinion, the merciful thing to do. Because if you don't kill him, he's just going to go back to the Shogun and say that he failed, and the Shogun's just going to make him commit seppuku anyways. So kill him.
Here we go. Well, unless he kills me. Also,
I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
See?
So let me know when you're done. I'll give you the final count.
He immediately did.
Let me go in peace.
And with ease too. He's like, "Oh, hey, look at you rearing back. I'm gonna kill you now." I wanted to watch it. I thought it was quite good.
Never you. Killing me will only make them worse. Let me go in peace.
So I'm gonna make the request again from the moderators, because I can actually see they're in chat now. Just if you are okay with us showing off the end video, because I know we had the technical issues for a moment. I don't quite know where we are in
only a minute
as far as like the marathon goes, but it's a quick one. All right, we got to go ahead. So
okay.
So let me know when you're on the final one.
Yep,
I'll tell you what the choice is.
And time is coming up in just a second. And time.
And it's kill. Yep. So that's all we had. Sweet. Enjoy this. Enjoy this. This is great.
I will make sure you are remembered as a great warrior, a wise leader, and a father. Thank you, my son. Find me in the next life. I will.
So much feels.
And that's it, folks. That's Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, if you choose to let him live, the last thing he says to you, he's like, "Give me an honorable death." And so if you choose to let him live, Jin says,
I have no honor.
I have no honor. And he replies with, "The ghost will be hunted for all of his days." And he's like, "That's just what it is." And he puts on the ghost mask and he walks away. So I'm going to do my outro before Ash does his, because I want to thank Ash very much for inviting me in here to be his commentary when his other comms couldn't make it. I had a great time. A big thank you and shout out to the organizers for this really awesome event. I really enjoyed it. If you guys haven't followed Aeshmah during this run, I don't know why. Maybe you were too caught up in the wonderful talk. Go check him out, Aeshmah _. It's there on the screen. You should be able to see it. Great runner. He's doing all sorts of wonderful things. He's put a lot of time into this, and he deserves some love. So go there.
Thank you, thank you. Well,